Policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
That's right, it is Dom time. Good Thursday, and you probably know by now. I'll break it down a bit. The Supreme Court unanimously said what is going on now with the abortion pill across state lines was okay because the doctor suing had no standing in this. They left open, Kavanaugh did, that while plaintiffs have sincere legal, moral, ideological, policy objections to elective abortion, that does not mean they have a federal case. They failed to show they suffered any injury, meaning the federal courts are the wrong forum for addressing those concerns. And he went on to say that could change, essentially. But you know what that points to? It points to a different FDA director might see it differently under a Trump administration. I am shocked that this is hitting not with a thud, but with a dud, which is good. You know they're running on two things, abortion and democracy. Trump is going to end the world, that ongoing, and they're still going to try to go for abortion, but this takes a lot of the steam out of it. What you may not know, I got this morning, that when Republicans get together in a short while for their convention, the platform committee, which controls what is the position of the party. I know people don't read platforms, but the Democrat and the media will seize on it. But Trump is ahead of them. The people will be chosen by Trump and by, his minions to write the platform. You're not going to have people on there that are going to insist on the Republican platform that's been for the last X number of conventions. In other words, you're going to have people on that platform that are going to say this goes back to the states. That's where it belongs. They can tout life. They can tout that as the goal, but that it goes back to the states. That's where we're going to end up with this. Now, this is not as monumental a day. I remember it came at the end of June. I was off that day. The Dobbs decision came down. But the New York Times and others are still citing that. You know, the Dobbs decision is still fresh in the minds of. How's it fresh in the minds? It's over 2 years old. It happened yesterday. It went back to the states. So if you see this going back to the states, doesn't that underline what was done with the other decision, that it's the same thing? And we almost never get, at least, some people will still email and go after me. You can't be pro-life and take the position you're taking here. I think this is where the Republican Party ought to be. Trump has managed this much better than, say, a DeSantis and some others. He has said he's pro-life, but he's talked about this going state by state. That's exactly what the previous decision said. Now, this one is a little bit different in that the pill is going across state lines. I get that. But also, this brings up the telehealth part. A lot of articles, Wall Street Journal and others, how telehealth widens access to the abortion pill. Without telehealth, 1 in 7 women would have to drive over 200 miles to the nearest provider, they say, in states that are where abortion, at least under many circumstances, might be illegal. So I see this as a big day. This was the last piece of the puzzle. I don't think the Supreme Court is going to say a president, in this case Trump, has total immunity. I think that might be on the last day of the term in the end of June that we get that. But this is way ahead of everything else. And I'm asking you, how do you feel about this? Again, big picture, this helps tremendously. I thought this was going to be, and it was unanimous. That means Alito, Thomas, and these others said no. They're giving lie to the media again that all they want to do is stop women from having abortions. They could have easily have said something in here that would have indicated the across state line. They could have found some fig leaf to hide under here, and they did not. What they did is they said, no, this is an issue for the FDA. And if you want it to be different, then you might have to have a different head of the FDA in order to rule on this. And that's what elections are about. But Trump's not going to say, hey, if you appoint me, I'll put a head of the FDA. That'll stop that abortion pill. They're going to say Trump is going to say that. But let's review this whole thing. It shows that Trump, despite some of the wild stuff he says at rallies that I don't think are helpful to him, when it comes to the real make or break stuff like this, he's handled it masterfully. When it comes to the VP choice, he's not going to make something wild just to appeal to the base. He's not going to do that.
Doug Burgum.
Well, okay, that's a little bit too tepid. That's like Trump is schizo.
Those eyebrows, Dom, man. Oh.
I know. I don't want Burgum either. All right, so. By the way, what's the name walked last night in the congressional game, Byron Donald.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I can't believe I forgot to turn. I was watching the Phils.
Yeah, you'll see the footage. It's up on Twitter. I may have posted it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I think there was a pinch runner pretty quickly there, though. And Greg Steube, the congressman, Dan, he pitched okay. He looked good. And he was wearing a giant MAGA hat as he faced the Democrat players. The Republicans won last night 31-11. Oh, my God.
What?
31 runs. Those Democrats
wow.
are bad.
I didn't expect it to be that bad. I knew we were going to win, but geez.
Yeah, I know. I think the proposal next year is that the Democrats be able to throw the ball from 20 feet. The pitcher's mound will be moved up. I mean, we can't have this. You would think they'd be...
Republican of Florida, and that's Aaron Bean, Republican of Florida, now running for Wenstrup at first base.
I love it. It's like a full-on broadcast on C-SPAN.
Oh, yeah.
For the first time, Florida 19, Southwest Florida, Naples, Fort Myers area.
Oh, my God.
Donald's originally from Brooklyn, played in one game. He was 0 for 1 last year.
Oh, Donald. Come on, Byron.
He's volunteered as a coach in youth football and basketball leagues.
What kind of wild?
It stays away for Padilla.
I love the little factoids. Like
the factoids.
It's like Little League World Series.
He will be having a cigar around the fourth inning today.
He enjoys playing his Xbox 360 on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly could be an option.
All right.
Yeah.
Struggled.
So,
ball 3. Yeah.
Not much coverage of this. I think if Democrats had won, there would be coverage. But, man, 31-11. I don't know how you gave up 11 to the
At what point do you stop watching? You tune in wanting to watch a good game, right? I mean, somebody just gets
I watch
embarrassed.
it for the spectacle. I wish I didn't see a lot of well-known Congress people.
No.
Come on now. If Tlaib and AOC and Omar and Nancy Pelosi is doing something there, you're going to watch that. Yeah.
Oh, made some nice contact, but foul ball here.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I have a Democrat Representative Lofgren saying that this new abortion ruling, doesn't mean that women of America are free, if you want to hear that.
Yeah, let's hear. Lofgren is from the West Coast, I think. What did she say about it?
Well, kind of wondering, why did they take this made-up case to begin with? This was a made-up case for an agenda, and it was bizarre that they took it. And I think, obviously, it was a hot potato. Now they've gotten rid of it. But it doesn't mean that the women of America are free. As we know, Donald Trump recently celebrated the overturning of Roe v. Wade as a beautiful decision. And so he really is in favor of the federal government deciding these very personal decisions for women and their families across the United States.
No, lady. No, lady. No. Just people like you. He is saying that the states, meaning the legislatures, you're a legislator, you decide stuff every day, way too much. No. She's not lying. She's just incompetent. She wants the federal government to decide. The federal government, he's not deciding that. That's exactly what we're not saying. It's the state. That's exactly what we're talking about. All right, now, a couple things. We may hear from Mayor Ernie. We told you yesterday it was breaking news that this group wanted to sell tickets to the Wildwood beaches at some designation, have twerking contest, and a boxing ring on the beach. Like, this is going to fly in Wildwood.
An unsanctioned boxing twerking event.
I could see Scott Presler. Well, I can still register them to vote. They sound like Trump voters to me. Okay? So this got stopped, but they also had this online meeting yesterday of people from Ocean City, like police chiefs, mayor, Mike Testa. Couple of things that the media doesn't like about this. One, they didn't invite any Democrats. Good. They're spies.
Sorry.
They're the problem.
We forgot.
Yeah. Well, why would any Democrat have any? And you know what it was about? It was about the idea that what Murphy did is causing all this trouble. So, Dan, buried in here, the police commissioner from Ocean City, he cited to the media this problem they had with the kids, so they took them to the station house. You're still not supposed to do anything because that would be unfair. 6 hours they had him there. The mother was refusing to come and get him. She wasn't in Ocean City, I think. Okay? So it's amazing to me that, this convoluted nonsense. This commissioner over in Ocean City is exactly right. We're tired of this nonsense, what this gives to these kids, and going forward with this. So 855-839-1210, you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. Let me give you the side question, and we'll try to get somebody from the shore to talk about this in a little bit. This police commissioner, though, really laid out the craziness. And again, these progressives are silly, but they're deadly at times. Imagine some punk kid giving them trouble. 6 hours they have them at the station house. No parent will come, but they can't lock them up, or they're afraid to lock them up. All right, side question today. Today is John Nash's, is it his birthday, Dan?
What is it for? It's something with John Nash.
Yeah, John Nash.
Yeah.
All right.
It's his birthday, yeah.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, A Beautiful Mind. Great film. A genius. Yeah, many people would say that. So we're looking either tongue-in-cheek, like, yeah, he's a real genius, like the head of SEPTA. SEPTA won a big award for safety Yeah,
That is a
I
real
think-
genius, the head of SEPTA.
Yeah. The head of SEPTA is a real genius. So we're looking either for a real genius or somebody that we can mock that you say is pretending to be.
I like the mockable ones better. The sarcastic genius. Yeah, you're a genius. Yeah, sure you are.
Either way, I'm going to take off the board, though, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Both sarcastically, he's not a genius, and sarcastically, he's a menace.
Friggin' genius.
He's a menace,
Yes,
though.
he is.
Definitely. Guy wants to fool around with dampening the sun a little bit. Picture that. You're in Wildwood, and this guy's fooling around with the sun. Okay. And I'm going to take Da Vinci off. You can't say Da Vinci.
Yeah.
You can't say Bud Dwyer. You can't go biblical, and you can't go Trump. Write those down.
Bud Dwyer. Yeah, Bud Dwyer's a friggin' genius.
Yeah, right. I mean, every question we ever come up, well, Bud Dwyer or Trump or somebody in the Bible or Da Vinci. All right, Dan, who's yours?
First of all, whoever designed the Schuylkill Expressway the way that it is a
Yeah.
friggin' genius, man, because there's always traffic. And you know who's a genius is the person who was it that tried proposing the double-decker Schuylkill Expressway?
Our inspector on my show, he said it right before
True
the primary.
genius there.
Yeah, he said, Dom, I just want you to know. Come on, Jim, help me out. Our little inspector here.
Jim in here one sec.
Yeah, one, come on, hurry up, our inspector.
Jim, where you
Jim,
at?
you there, Jim?
Jim is
know that we're going to put this out there. I should probably plug in my headphones so I can hear you. Let's see if this works over here.
Were you in favor of the double-decker Schuylkill, or was that something you mocked?
It's insane.
Why?
I mocked it right. You know how much it would cost? Can you imagine the traffic delays? Can you imagine?
Yeah,
the difficulty of
temporarily,
this?
but look at the big dig in Boston. It's
Oh,
well, it
yeah,
didn't really
right.
fix
Yeah,
much.
it's right. It was only $1 trillion, and it took.
Would you be in
years.
favor of
Yeah.
double-deckering the Vine Street Expressway? Or capping it and putting a park over it?
No.
How about if that's like a trade-off for the stadium in the Chinatown area?
Oh God, no! I'm not.
one
in favor.
way.
These are all crazy.
Yeah.
They're just crazy.
And finally, the genius who decided when they closed Richmond Ave, where Delaware turns into Richmond here in Philly, they closed it off to do I guess they had to do trolley work with the lines. So they rerouted all the big trucks that were going up and down the docks from Delaware, down in South Philly, all the way up to Port Richmond. And they rerouted them into smaller roads, and roads started collapsing throughout Port Richmond because of the weight on the roads. So that person was a true genius, Don.
Sinkholes. All right, so either a true genius, you want to make that, you think you have a good one, maybe underrated, or you want to mock somebody. Yeah, this is a genius idea. Who thought of this stuff? Who could possibly think, yes, this is the way to go? Nominating Joe Biden again? They're going to do it.
Oh,
True
yeah, let's
geniuses.
get Joe Biden off the board.
Yes, Joe Biden's off the board. Okay. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210.
Rev up your golf carts. It's that wonderful time of the year again when 1210 WPHT Madness descends upon the Jersey Shore for a huge party on Wildwood's officially declared Dom Giordano Day. Join Dom from noon until 3 as he broadcasts live from Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill, where he'll be with Scott Presler and some other great friends, with live music provided by the great Burning Sky, the ultimate bad company experience. That's live from Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill in Wildwood, Dom Giordano Day, June 21st, noon until 3.
Get slimmer for this summer without any shots. NJ Diet is nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. You will lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then, NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully monitored the entire time, and you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by in Cherry Hill, King of Prussia, Princeton, and Newark, Delaware. Or NJ Diet is available from home with live online video consultations. Lose the weight the natural way, quickly and safely. Call 855-5NJ-DIET. Or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer for the summer and without any shots. That's njdiet.com to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. Go to njdiet.com and lose the weight for good.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb. Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. Mike Rowe today at 2 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock, Moms for Liberty, they want a citizenship requirement that you pass a course and or test. They'll be here at 1 o'clock to lay it out. We're hearing rumors. I thought I heard it this morning that Jay-Z is going to be in town today, and this is causing tremors across the board. This anti-school vouchers, anti-scholarships, anti-let these kids go is incredible. Just the intensity of it, including this argument. They're saying if you're someone like Jay-Z or these others, getting kids out of the public school is immoral. They have to stay there in order to help the more vulnerable. Now think about this. Think of these maniacs. They think a decision you should make as a parent or whomever is you got to keep your kid in these public schools that are inferior at best. Otherwise, it's immoral. You're letting down these. You're being held hostage, in other words. You shouldn't do the best thing for your kids. I don't know about you. I'll debate you any day of the week on that. Your mission is to do the best thing for your child. Nothing wrong if you have the money or you get a scholarship or you do whatever, of getting out of Dodge. They're arguing that's immoral. And with Jay-Z coming to town, now they're going after him. There must be money. There must be an agenda. I'm sure these women with Abbott Elementary are almost as bad in my mind. They're a little bit more sophisticated as The View. And it's subtle. It's a funny show in some ways. It's in Philadelphia, my God. But they just are on the attack. They cannot wrap around this idea that Americans are tired of the big city public schools in particular, but most in general. They're not competitive. They're never going to be. They're always going to be like this. It doesn't matter how much money is placed in there. That's not going to matter in the end, maybe around the edges. All right, now here is a UAW, United Auto Workers, and I happen to see this today. Listen to this guy talk about how everything is so expensive today, but he's still voting for Biden because Trump has never done a hard day's work, and Trump couldn't possibly understand the common folk, the common union member. All Biden's ever done in his life was be a lifeguard with corn pop and be in the government. From 29 and a half, whatever he was elected to be a senator from this dopey state that loved the Bidens, called Delaware, up until now. That's all he's done in his life, is live off the government, live off us, And this guy thinks, well, Trump is rich. He couldn't understand. Here's a UAW worker.
Walter Robinson Jr. bets about 40% of his Ford co-workers are for Trump.
He's never done a hard day's work, not physical work like you do in the plant. He has a solid gold toilet at home. So, I mean, how can he really empathize with your life?
And when you say, wait, Joe Biden walked the picket line with us, Joe Biden's been a pro-union president.
They say that, guns, gays, abortion, Sleepy Joe, Hunter Biden.
All right, kind of ended there. But, Trump can't understand. Trump has no sense of it. Now, this is such a harder sell. If it were Mitt Romney, it works with a Mitt Romney. Just the whole presentation, just the whole deal. You can pin that on a Mitt Romney. Maybe on George W. Bush, even though it was harder once he went to Texas. You're not going to be able to pin that on Trump. But this is all that they have. This is all that they're going to keep on trying to do. All right, let's go to Marilyn in Broomall. Hey, Marilyn, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom.
Yes, go right ahead.
Just was calling about geniuses.
Okay.
And I want to keep it in Philadelphia, and I want to say Ben Franklin.
All right, what makes him a genius?
Oh, my gosh. He invented so many things. He was a philosopher, politician. He didn't invent or discover the post office, but wasn't he like the first postmaster?
I think he did that. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
He was extremely smart. He invented so many things, bifocals, the lightning rod, and my favorite thing he invented was swim fins, believe it or not.
Look at that. All right, nicely played. That's what we're looking for. The swim fins put you in the running there. That's good. All right, so we're looking either for a true genius or somebody held out there as smart and no way, like the head of SEPTA.
Sarcastic genius.
Yeah, I think we had some sound. They won a national award. Yes.
Oh, I heard let me see if I can get the sound queued up, Tom.
Okay.
Because you're going to love this one. So this comes from Middle Bucks Mill on Twitter, Dom. He says...
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
Representative Hank Johnson, true
Right.
genius.
And after hearing that, because it's been played, we've played it hundreds of times, people still return him to the Congress every year in his district. There's genius. A guy who's afraid that Wildwood on Dom Giordano Day. Now, it is going to be crowded. I have to admit, Dan, we haven't checked to see if Wildwood reaches their capacity on that day. We don't want to be responsible for tipping mulligans over into the back bay there on Hudson Avenue.
Just completely separates.
Yeah, it separates. Yeah, Mulligan separates from the rest of Wildwood.
I can get back to North Wildwood, Dom.
There you go.
Also, David on Twitter says, Howard Eskin. And it's because he uses the word genius a lot. He calls people
mocking people genius.
Yeah,
right.
but
yes,
Howard, I think he is a genius when it comes to covering, sports media and all.
Yeah, I agree with most
of
his.
How else are you the number one name? Covering this stuff for this long.
I kind of agree with him on a lot of things, and it sets the others off over there. So I kind of like that. Yeah. All right, phone lines. You can get in right now. 855-839-1210. This Supreme Court decision is big. Because if it had gone the other way, or even if it had been mixed 5-4 or whatever, unanimous though, the only thing in here they're jumping on is Kavanaugh said, well, look, this isn't the venue for this. That would be a political election. Whoever wins, then they move forward and said who the FDA director is. So we're going to have a battle over, I'm sure Democrats will be quoting Kavanaugh. It's not just the Supreme Court. Not only that, several have had to admit today, even Sonny Hostin, noted Viper on The View, the Supreme Court did pretty well here. Yeah, because it agrees with her, and it was unanimous, though, that everybody said, no, you cannot engage in this. You don't have standing. There was no injury to you. Now, I was waiting for this. I know it's easy to say once it passes. Well, what's the big deal? Well, once it passes is because of the idea that this is something they were counting on. They were counting on this big time to help them. A lot of stuff, funny stuff going on in Congress today with Trump there. Matt Gaetz noting the fun he had of Trump going back and forth with people like Mitch McConnell. He apparently called out Marjorie Taylor Greene, told her to ease up on Mike Johnson. Suddenly, Trump is with Mike Johnson. That's an amazing alliance. We'll see how long that goes on. So, of course, they dropped the habitual January 6 ads today, simply because this is the first time President Trump has been back to the Capitol since then. All right, Mike Rowe, 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock, we'll talk Moms for Liberty. Tomorrow, we got a lot of special stuff going on, too, as we count down to Mulligan's and Dom G Day. It is amazing behind the scenes what people are coming in with. Now, on this abortion day, let me link it to something coming up. Politico, here we go again. Evangelicals want Trump. The only thing they want out of the VP is to pick an anti-abortion running mate. They will not let up. Trump is not going to listen to evangelicals on this stuff on abortion. You know, it's mangled the way he talked on abortion. He's all over the place. But he got the heart of it. Why would Trump see this correctly and a guy like DeSantis blow himself up with it? DeSantis, yeah, I'll sign the 6-week abortion thing. 6 weeks? He wanted to win in Iowa. He thought evangelicals there would go with him over Trump because he was giving. So I want your, why would evangelicals stick with Trump? They're probably the biggest anti-abortion, per capita percentage-wise. And yet they go with Trump, not DeSantis. Trump is vaguely saying states' rights, whatever the state wants to do. DeSantis gave them the 6 week, other than banning it completely. You can't do better than 6 weeks. Many women might not know they're pregnant at that point. 6 weeks. DeSantis is a smart guy politically. He signed off on this. He thought it would make him golden in Iowa. Guess what? I'm thankful things have changed. Is it Trump? Or is it people have in their mind, you know what? This is all important. I'm pro-life, but we're not going to let them beat us on this. And maybe the Supreme Court thought about that. Dan, you tell me goalposts are now moving to, an Idaho Supreme Court case. Is this about the one about doctors' rights to perform abortion or not to have to do an abortion?
If you want to hear the framing firsthand, I have Alexis McGill Johnson. She's a Planned Parenthood CEO, and she essentially takes the ruling today and says, that's not it. We got something coming up here. She previews the next steps in the abortion fight.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
We're living in a reality now where 1 out of 3 women and more trans and non-binary folks no longer have access to abortion care in that state. That's 2 out of 3. Black women who no longer have access to that care, and the devastation that we have already seen, right? Knowing that abortion bans have made pregnancy more dangerous, that they have put at risk pregnancy outcomes for criminalization, and the impact to patients as well as providers in the communities, I think, is also something that we need to really take a look at and reflect on 2 years, that in the 2 years that has passed. And the idea that within those 2 years, we are back at the Supreme Court, not once, but twice this year, with this Miffy case, as well as the EMTALA case, right? The fact that the Supreme Court is also considering whether or not Idaho has the right to let patients die because they refuse to provide abortion care in state for patients who are desperately in need.
Oh, my God. The framing of that, they're just from another planet. I realize they're not going to give up on it. We know that. But again, Trump has done as well as you can do to disarm this. And the Republican platform is going to say it's a states matter. They've never said that. That is revolutionary. And what are the pro-life groups going to do about this? I mean, the ones that are just not getting it, that you win hearts and minds here. We're not going to win just by overwhelming people with laws. They're going to have to put up with it. That's what's going to happen here. All right, let's talk FanDuel. FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, wants you to join in on all the carnage, all the crazy shots, all the major action this week at Pinehurst, which is a really different kind of course. It's one of a kind. And right now, all customers, you get a profit boost every round of this U.S. major. That means you can boost your outright winners, your longest drive bets, and so much more. Plus, bet on finishing position and get paid in full for ties. You won't see another sports book doing that. So don't wait. Go to FanDuel.com/Dom to get started. Take advantage of your profit boost every round at Pinehurst. I mean, I'll be looking at betting in any way that I can, Dan, against Brooks Koepka. That guy.
You really
bet
do.
anything. Oh, my God. He's FanDuel Sportsbook is
True
the official,
genius.
Yes, he's the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
La 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 la. Oops.
Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La 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 la.
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
When life gets too hectic, it's time to retreat from the noise.
My name's Carmen DePasquale. I have been a retreatant for about 26 years. I came alone. I literally read it in a bulletin and decided that this might be something that I'd like to do. I literally took a leap of faith and I thought, well, let me see what this is about. And if this is right for me, I always felt welcomed even though I didn't know anyone.
Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice. Go to malvernretreat.com.
So anyone can really feel welcome here.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Expect above average temperatures through the rest of the week. We'll see plenty of sunshine today, a bit more humid with a high of around 88. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low 69. And for Friday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Some late day severe storms possible with a high near 90.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
right, President Biden at the G7 summit may have set a record, Dan. I'm looking at 5, maybe 6 of the G7 leaders, he's the other, trying to point him where he's supposed to go. And he keeps on moving all over there. Yeah, 6 of them, they're pointing over here. They're going like that. What in the world? I don't even think that's cognitive decline. It's just bizarre that he always doesn't know where to go. Just go, they're telling him, just go anywhere. What does it matter? Or just follow somebody else. Just slowly follow them and you're fine. My God. All right, 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, you push pound 1210. He also said we're developing a railway line from Angola to the Indian Ocean. I didn't look that up, but I got to tell you, that doesn't sound right there.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mitzi Hirano. Maisie Hirano. That's right, it is Maisie.
Yeah, come on. It's a wife's name.
From Hawaii wanted to, or believed that we had a railway line to Honolulu, apparently, from California. So maybe Biden's picking up on that.
He also gave a shout out to Fink.
The BlackRock guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, Menace, another genius, that guy.
Mr. Fink, I call you Larry, I'm calling you Mr. Fink. But we go back a long way, BlackRock and Mr. Nadella of Microsoft.
What? Now, that Fink guy is the menace of menaces, Dan. We've had people on talking about, who do we have on that knew the whole inside of that when they were cheering for the Chinese dictator? He's the guy.
Well, I think it was centered around the central bank digital currency as well, too.
Oh,
right?
okay.
CBDCs.
Yeah, it may have been that. Yeah, this is the guy. You put him and Bill Gates in a room together, we're all in trouble.
Yeah, he's the guy pretty much buying up all the properties and writing
exactly.
all the ESG ratings that companies have to comply with.
He's the big guy. Dave in Jersey's next on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dave, good afternoon.
What's up, Dom?
Hi, Dave.
How you doing this today?
Good.
Who's that union clown? You don't know what he's talking about. Does he know how to read?
Well, yeah, that's that's it. That's why we played him. This is the attitude. He thought it was only 40% of his union brethren support Trump. I think it's higher.
Just read about Trump's family. Trump banged nails when he was a kid. His father put him to work at like 14 years old. Worked on construction site building houses in Brooklyn and Queens and apartment buildings,
Well, yeah, thank you, Dave. That's one of the reasons why he is so hard. With Mitt Romney, these guys can do it. Joe Biden, I'm the middle class, the Feeneys, the Bidens, all that nonsense for 50 years. Mitt Romney's over there in the top hat. He can't connect on this. I mean, he's a nice enough guy, but that's it. Republicans get boxed in with this. Trump, you can't box in. Just the same thing I told you with DeSantis and Trump. How is it DeSantis is on the wrong side of the abortion issue? And all that he says is he is pro-life and that's it, indicating Trump is not. So we're already seeing articles today. Now what are evangelicals going to do? Here we go again. Trump and the Supreme Court not sticking up on abortion. Now, they did exactly the right thing here. I'm surprised it was unanimous. I thought maybe a Clarence Thomas, maybe an elite, more Clarence Thomas, somebody like that might have written an opinion on the other side. But now we're out of the woods on this. They're still going to keep at it. There is that Idaho case, but I don't see that of quite the same magnitude here. So they're going to continue to talk abortion, and Trump will take away democracy. Why? Well, what else? What else is the burning issue? What can they pitch? Now, the markets yesterday, we saw that inflation month over month was, I think, 1/10 of a point potentially less than they thought. And they immediately talked, now that we've gotten inflation under control, you know the definition of that. It's not the rate. It's the long-term impact of that. When is that going to get under control? Well, certainly not with Joe Biden. And people know it. That's not going to go away. Neither is illegal immigration. We've seen that play out this week. Matt in Downingtown next. Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Don.
Hi.
So I was listening to the to the union rep, and my question is, why does everything always have to go to the gays, the guns, and abortion? It's their only number one talking point. I'm a moderate conservative, I'd call myself. I'm not concerned about that stuff. I don't care about my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't say that selfishly. I care about my kids, and I care about my family. Don't impose on me, and I won't impose on you. But it's like the Democrats. That's the only talking point that they can end a conversation on now. Is, well, the guns, the gays, and the people who are pro-abortion are going to disagree with you. Well, I'm a Trump supporter, and those three topics are of the less of my concerns right now.
I think that's the same way for a lot of people. We don't see a firestorm of people out there today, Matt, going nuts against Trump in the Supreme Court. I am thrilled. I don't know about you. I'm thrilled because, to me, I'm just looking at the formula to win here. And I was scared to death, 5-4 or something like that. They were going to ban this today. And then that's all that we would hear, not just this election. They try to squeeze 2 or 3 more elections out of it.
That's exactly right.
And now it's a dud. It's even hard to get people to talk about it, which is a good thing here. And the fact that it's unanimous, how is this a rogue Supreme Court if they all could agree on something this consequential?
Something singular that brought them together to agree upon. It's greater than our average good. So I'm talking with colleagues of mine and friends of mine, and that's the number one issue that they want to bring up, and it's kind of getting frustrating. So, but on the side topic, yes. Alexander Graham Bell, I hate my phone. I hate it with a passion.
Right.
I know that phones are such a topic of demise, but it's an everyday necessity, whether we want to agree to it or not. So,
without a doubt, that is a good one, Matt. Not great call too. By the way, Dan, I was going to save this for Reading, Writing, and Reason, but Finland has been said to have the best school system in the world, and all kinds of stats. Now it's gone downhill the last 2 or 3 years. They gave smartphones to every kid in the lower grades in Finland for some reason.
That was dumb.
And now they're dummies. Well, not Philadelphia public school level yet. They're going to have to give I don't know what they'd have to give kids to get them to that level, but they're getting there.
I mean, another point to yours is the Starlink story about the African tribe that teenagers were given access to the internet, and now they don't want to hunt. They don't want to do anything besides surf the web and, look at images.
Well, that was more yours. Yes, look at pornographic images. That's right. Nice research work there. All right. 855.
Internet, the downfall of civilization, Dom.
There you go. Well, Al Gore invented it, so that's the reason
Blame Al.
why. Coming up, what are Trump's chances by a variety of these groups that place the odds at being elected president? Is it really 50-50 at this point in time? What are the odds? I'll give you that. And let's talk Captain Chucky's for a moment, though. Father's Day coming up. That's always big. Don't forget about summer cookouts. All good reasons to make that call to Captain Chucky's. You can order their delicious seafood and make that gathering a hit. Let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order the brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. Perfect time, too, to check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings. Delicious stuffed mushrooms, salads, tremendous variety of homemade sides, desserts. Captain Chucky's, too, has several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. Desserts, soup, sides, appetizers, they choose only the highest quality ingredients. That Gulf shrimp is a huge hit. It's always wild-caught, never farm-raised. And my favorite, those delicious Dom rolls. So visit Captain Chucky's today. They have a great number of locations near you. Website, welovecrabcakes.com, welovecrabcakes.com. And if you're headed to the shore, don't forget Captain Chucky's is there too. Visit CaptainChucky's@theshore.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
As we honor a veteran on the first Wednesday of every month, Dale Weatherall is with us. Why specifically is mentorship so important for veterans?
A lot of veterans, they sign up at a young age and they're put in situations where they're in a leadership position, they're being mentored, they see how impactful that is in their life. So it's a way to pay it forward.
Dale, thank you so much for your service. It's a pleasure. Dale is a big part of the Travis Manion Foundation.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-721-4643. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-721-4643 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
All right, it's Dom Giordano. Dan, I just got the word here, breathless. I'm looking to say this from Wildwood. Hashtag with the Wildwood Information Office.
Ooh.
Dom Day.
Oh, there's a hashtag.
There's a hashtag. Dom
hashtag?
Day. Yes, I finally got
Where?
it here. Yes. Well, I guess on their Twitter.
Okay, I'm going to find it.
Yeah, see if you can find it. At least that's a message. I'll forward it to you, and you could track this down. It says, happy to support you, Dom. Hashtag Dom Day.
Wow.
Is it? I'm breathless here to see if we finally made it.
They like 5 different Twitters. I'm trying to find it.
Okay, all right. All right, so we hope that's up. That's how big of a deal this has gone now. I don't know about the billboards coming on Rio Grande Avenue.
I mean, it's definitely somewhere. I just don't know where.
Okay. All right, as long as we'll find it. We'll certify that. All right. We've been talking about the big Supreme Court decision, and it is big. Now, usually the Supreme Court decision, when it's big, it's because people are outraged. Well, those on the left, deep down, are happy about this, even though they're trying to pretend there's some fly in the ointment. And those on the right, I think, are saying, you know what? We're going to get over that finish line. This helps us to do it. That's what it's about. Some of the pro-life groups put out statements how awful this is, etc. But immediately, Politico and these others go to evangelical groups, and they claim now, here's the outcome of this. They're saying, well, now they're going to demand, with this loss and what Trump has said, we're going to need somebody who is staunchly pro-life. I mean, really out there, in order to be the VP choice. Well, that would be DeSantis. You're not getting DeSantis. Trump is not going to go anywhere near this. He's played it skillfully. Let me go to Gary in Newtown, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gary, afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. How are you, sir?
Good.
You know, today it struck me like a bolt of lightning when you were making your case about Ron DeSantis. And I was for Ron DeSantis way early on, and I believe that he did the right thing by signing the 6-week bill because that's what his voters wanted. Although politically, you are correct, he signed his own death sentence with respect to his ability to run for government probably for the rest of his life, as long as we have this issue on the table.
I think you're right. And the polling Gallup today, because of this, Gary's got a big poll, and I think they're accurate, that America has gone pro-choice, at least in a vague way, not to the extreme. And when you say 6 weeks, they're not going to hear anything else.
I'm pro-life, and I've always been well, I can't say that. I'm pro-life for the last 35, 40 years of my life until I knew, like I learned better, because like in high school it was tissue. It wasn't a thing. And my feeling is that the more technology that we get every year that proves that whatever is in there is a life, you're right, 6 weeks is way too early, but at some point, definitively, 6 weeks is going to be the case eventually, but we have to win the hearts and minds of the people that we have out there voting today.
That's what it is. That's it. Winning hearts and minds, not just putting a law in that they can overturn and all that. Gary, who's the genius, tongue-in-cheek or otherwise?
I'm going to give you a choice. Do you want to go serious or go funny?
Go funny. We want to go funny today.
I'm going to go with the super genius, Wile E. Coyote.
Exactly right. Yes, that's a very good one. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Moms for Liberty. Now, how is this as a deal? Jimmy Matthews will come to Dom Day. I guess there's some uptick there. People would like to see this guy and say President Trump. So, Dan, I could say former President Trump because you would have in unison, I'm sure you would get the whole group to stop drinking. And in chorus to Jimmy Matthews say, President Donald J. Trump, right? So, Jimmy, come down there, and I will.
It'd be hilarious just hearing the crowd every time you said President Trump because of Jimmy Matthews, then yelling out, former!
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we'll do something special for you, Jimmy. It'll be a lot of fun. I haven't met you in person that I know of.
Would we bring him on air, or we just...
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll play with this. It's one of the show's sub-themes.
Do you think you could honestly say former President Trump throughout the entire show?
No, I will slip up intentionally.
We come to a common ground and say future President Trump?
There you go. All right, there you go. All right, 855-839-1210. Moms for Liberty next. Mike Rowe, you're going to want to see this film. I watched it last night. He'll come up at 2 o'clock, just a great American. Was he on the short list for RFK Jr.? We'll find out as the show unfolds on Talk Radio 1210.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry!
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying,
will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
This is the best time of the year for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting you. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. Call my friends at QC Kinetics today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your body's own ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. So, you can walk, run, hike, play golf, move again, play frisbee on the beach, pain-free. Under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics has enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Call now. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. Get a free consultation. 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, just over $30,000. That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. Optima Tax Relief. They're the best in the business.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Supreme Court unanimously preserves access to mifepristone, the drug used in nearly 2/3 of U.S. abortions last year. Jailed for more than a year, U.S. journalist Evan Gershkovich will stand trial in Russia on espionage charges. Denmark recalls spicy South Korean noodles over health concerns after a viral dare challenge.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in. I don't remember exactly how many years we've talked with Moms for Liberty since they were formed. I remember, was it last year they were in town? It's blurring together. I think it was last year. And just the turmoil. Why is that? Well, because they're strong. They have a lot of people. And they are coming up with things that are practical and would make a difference and could be implemented. And it's hard to see why you wouldn't do them. Tiffany Justice is one of the co-founders. She's with us today to talk about Moms for Liberty now at the end of the school year, calling for a U.S. citizenship test requirement for students to graduate high school. You know, to become a citizen, we show people around this time of the year, July 4th, we see people sworn in, they pass the citizenship test. Everybody seems to be on board with that. It seems to be a great moment, right? All right, let's go to Tiffany Justice here on Talk Radio 1210, co-founder of Moms for Liberty. Tiffany, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me today. Yeah, it absolutely seems like a common sense thing, right? We have kids graduating from high school. Certainly, they should be able to answer some very simple questions. And I say to your audience, if you've never looked up the citizenship test, go ahead and just do a search for it and check it out. And then, let us know if you think that it's a good requirement for the high school graduation.
So we would take the citizenship test en masse, right? No changes, and just give the kids that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. As a former teacher and someone who does, as you know, a lot of education, parenting things, I think the failure rate would be, I would take the under of those that can pass it, Tiffany. I might even take the 2/3 won't. What do we do then?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Kids are in school to learn things. You would certainly think that the things that are on that citizenship test are important things for kids to know. So it's not like a gotcha. We're not doing it at the end and thinking we haven't prepared these students. The job of the school should be to prepare children to unfold their full potential in life. Certainly, they should be learning how to read. That's incredibly important. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is that a lot of kids are not learning to read in school. In fact, only about a third of American public school fourth graders are reading on grade level. That is atrocious, given how much money, $840 billion a year, we spend on public education. But the idea that kids graduating from high school should be able to pass the citizenship test seems pretty basic, honestly, and they should have the tools and the knowledge poured into them over their time in high school to get them ready for that test. And I certainly think it'll mean that we'll have better, more engaged citizens who have a full knowledge and understanding of our country, its history, and the governmental framework that's essential for them to understand how to engage in.
Yeah, well, mark me down. If you need anybody by Zoom across the country, I would love to talk about the Electoral College, not in some vague way, how much I embrace it and love it, and the genius of it, stuff like that. I think it's on the citizenship test. So, Tiffany, North Carolina is pretty close to debating this and going to do it, and Florida may do it pretty soon, or at least debate it.
Yeah, we're hoping that every state will take a look at it if that's what the Moms for Liberty chapters want. And I think it's important for people to understand. So North Carolina, their legislative committee, now that's we're set up by chapter, and the chapters are in counties, right? But at the state level, we only endorse the school board races. It's county-level politics, right? But at the state level, our moms are very concerned about different issues. COVID gave them a window into learning more about, where are policies made, who gets to make those decisions. And what they saw was that there are a lot of rights and things that they need to advocate for at the state level that they weren't doing before. And so they form in a legislative committee. Each chapter sends a liaison to that committee, and then that committee, with the input from the members in the chapters, comes up with a legislative platform, the things that they care about. And so this U.S. citizen test requirement was put on the North Carolina legislative agenda, and, each individual state and their committee will have to decide if that's something they want to push too. But I think it is something that they're going to want, along with making sure that students and staff are protected. They were strengthening parental rights in North Carolina, informed consent, this idea that your child can make medical decisions for themselves. That starts at age 12 in North Carolina, and parents are really concerned about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, Tiffany, any idea? I was just thinking about this when I saw this proposal. I'm not sure if I ever taught in a school where civics was, in my time teaching, was an actual subject, but it was pretty prominent maybe in the American history or something like that. Then all of a sudden, particularly at the middle school and all that, we got away from anything with American civics, and it was social studies. And as soon as we got to that, there were a lot of things where kids had to show up and bring a ethnic dish or a dance or something, all fine, but asked what are the three branches of government, or asked about the Constitution or any of that stuff. And it's just not, somehow or another, it's not even in the curriculum.
Yeah, and what they've done, honestly, I think you and I have talked about this before, but the want of parents hasn't changed. I think parents, again, want their kids to learn to read, write, do math, to learn and understand science and history, and to know the full history of the United States, all the parts of the history, good and bad. But the goal of the schools has changed. And when you look at civics, our kids are being turned into little social justice warriors who can be turned out on a dime. So, the issue is never the issue. The issue is always the revolution. It's how you have queers for Palestine. They would be killed in the Middle East for being gay, but, fine, it's a joke, right? But that's why these kids don't know. They don't understand anything except the fact that something called Action Civics has been taught in public schools across America, how to get involved. So they can't read or write, but they know how to turn out for some type of activist event. And I mean, certainly, we've seen since post 10/7, we have seen, ample evidence of how a generation of kids have been turned against this country and each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Tiffany, what's the next big step for Moms for Liberty? What are you engaged in? Are you engaged in the presidential election in any way, shape, or form?
No, our moms, we don't endorse, again, in any other races besides school board races, but our moms are certainly concerned about issues. So they're looking to candidates and they're asking them, where do you stand on the issues we care about? They want to make sure that they protect women and girls in sports and private spaces. They don't want their children to be forced to lie about biological truth in school. And they're concerned about the fact that the schools are failing kids. And so any candidates that are aligning with us on those issues, I think you're going to see Moms for Liberty members supporting. What are we doing now? We are making sure that people are registered to vote. Unfortunately, I think there are a lot of people that have just not, again, been as engaged as they need to be in our civic processes, and voting is one of those things. And so my message to anyone listening to this right now is, are you registered to vote? And if you are registered to vote, make a commitment that in the next few months, you're going to get 5 more people registered. Honestly, ask them, are you registered to vote? Can I help you get registered? Do you have any questions about different issues? Because the most important thing is to have our voices heard. We cannot have more people running this country like Joe Biden, who tells the nation that, when the kids are in a teacher's classroom, they're like their children, that they're all our children. The message needs to be, no, these are our children, and we're going to defend and protect our parental rights.
We're talking with Tiffany Justice, co-founder of Moms for Liberty. Tiffany, here in Pennsylvania, you may be aware, but I'll give you an idea. The intensity level is at a 10 out of 10, and that Jay-Z now has jumped into the ring. We're in the budget process this last couple of weeks, and he is coming out $300 million, poor kids, Black and Latino mainly, scholarships through public money. You have one of the richest guys in America, Jeff Yass, here. You have Meek Mill, who's really a regional rapper. I guess he has a national reputation.
Yeah, he's big nationally.
Yeah, and assorted others. Are you sensing anything like that around the country? I mean, Jay-Z, I don't agree with on the time of day, probably, mostly, but he's on the right side, and he's actually holding public events around this.
Yeah, he's smart, and he understands that education is the key to lifting people out of generational poverty. And that's why I'm so concerned about what's happening in our schools, because you're condemning kids to a life of struggle. If they can't read by the time they're in 4th grade, then they can't read to learn. That means that they're now at a deficit for the rest of their time in school. They're much more likely to end up incarcerated or to have adverse situations with the juvenile justice system. I think it's something like 80% of the kids that get involved with the juvenile justice system are functionally illiterate. That is crazy town. Why that's not ringing. I mean, obviously Jay-Z's smart and he's going to address it. Here's the thing, though. You're right. You probably don't agree with a lot of the things that Jay-Z is doing. But on principle, I think we agree that parents have the fundamental right to direct the education of their kids, and he's giving parents choice. That's awesome. But we need to be smart and understand that if you want conservative principles and values to be shared, do you think Jay-Z is going to want those things taught in his schools? I don't know. I don't know Jay-Z. I'd love to, if Jay-Z, if you're listening, I would love to meet you and understand what you're doing.
Yes.
And Jeff, yes, for that, we need more people involved in education and lifting all these kids up. And so if people with money are finally waking up to the fact that they need to get involved in saving public education and trying to figure out how we stop the indoctrination and we get back to at least teaching kids the basics, reading, writing, and math, and then we'll worry about what we teach them after that, then I'm in. So sign me up.
All right. Where's the website, Tiffany, for Moms for Liberty?
momsforliberty.org. Please go check it out. There's a big map there. You can click on your state, see if we have a chapter. If we don't, please start one. We need you. We need every single person in this fight to save our country.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye.
Tiffany Justice, Moms for Liberty, creating a stir wherever they go. Strange alliances, strange bedfellows. I don't know if it was a fake report or not. I thought Jay-Z was going to be in town today. We're monitoring that. He's got events. He's got a whole schedule up through June in various locales, a lot of them in the city, some in the suburbs, around this $300 million PASS program. Shapiro's on board with it. The Senate Republicans are. Eamon Brown, our buddy, is on board with it. But the forces on the other side, they're determined They're not going to give in. They're with the teachers' unions, and they're with the ideology that public schools are the only way to go, no matter how big of a failure they are. That's the system. That's what they want. Okay, phone lines are 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. Today, side question, a real genius, we've gotten some both, or, yeah, that guy's a genius, or that woman's a genius, not, is what we're looking for. It's John Nash's birthday, A Beautiful Mind. I already see, Dan, one that I'm considering for Monday. We haven't done this in years. Joe Sibilia was here. It's National Mascot Day, and we did food mascots. And I remember it was pretty entertaining and pretty fun.
Yeah.
Joe was actually a food mascot as a job once.
He was a Red Robin.
He was a Red Robin. Yeah, exactly. Yep. All right. Jump in. We'll let you know what's happening with Trump in Washington. The Supreme Court decision is a major one. It's unanimous. It takes away one more avenue to continue to talk about abortion. It's a good thing. And I think that Ron DeSantis has placed himself in a box. I get it. He was trying to win Iowa. Maybe he's sincere on this, but you're not going to win with I've said this with Mark Houck versus Fitzpatrick, and I've said it with Doug Mastriano. You're not going to win statewide in Pennsylvania if you are saying that no exceptions on abortion, something like that. Yeah, we had several Republican candidates say that. Well, it's over right there. Face that. Face the reality of it. And your beliefs, we can honor them, but it doesn't mean you should be the nominee. Trump has done a masterful job in his own way of navigating this. And that's why it's going to be hard for Biden or anybody else to pin him down on it. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Our next Talk Radio 1210 WPHT Politics and Pints. I'll be hosting #1 international best-selling author, Navy SEAL Jack Carr. That's right, June 25th. Tuesday night, June 25th at the Zlock Performing Arts Center, Bucks County Community College in Newtown, PA. Tickets are on sale now, and they will sell out. Go to 1210WPHT.com and get your tickets. And I want to see you there. And if not, remember, I got a guy, and he's a Navy SEAL. See you then.
Inflation has taken our economy by storm. According to government statistics, since 2021, the average investor paid over $11,000 extra per year. Political unrest and supply chain issues continue to push the prices of goods and services higher, forcing 40% of retirees to return to the workforce, according to a study by Atticus Law Firm. That's why the team at Crash Proof Retirement tailors each and every Crash Proof Retirement system with guaranteed inflation fighters that can increase your income up to 35% to cover rising costs without depleting your nest egg. Discover how our proprietary inflation fighters can protect your retirement lifestyle, documented in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at Downingtown Country Club on Tuesday, July 23rd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
How did your son or daughter do in school this year? These summer months is the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Prepare your student for back to school now. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders like high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to NJDiet.com. Get ready for spring with NJDiet.com.
Are you tired of that dated old kitchen or bathroom? Ready for a refresh? Then you need to give Kitchen Magic a call. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979. From refacing to custom cabinets, backsplash, counters, yes, you can get the kitchen you want now, right now. They're offering 12 months of no payments, no interest financing, with 10% off your remodel. Schedule your free in-home design consultation today at kitchenmagic.com. That's kitchenmagic.com.
Dom Giordano, weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. So we have pieces of this. I can't say we have the whole thing. I didn't even think we would get this. Red State has it, Daily Wire. We have some of the Nashville shooters' manifesto revealed. And it's just as we thought. It shows how gender ideology manipulations fueled her rage. Photos of the manifesto uncovering not only the tragic tale of this woman, but a conspiracy to hide this information from people. As Matt Walsh reported on X, the Daily Wire obtained the writings of Audrey Hale, the former student of the school, who claimed the lives of 6 people, including 3 children. Hale believed to herself not only to be the wrong gender, but had a raging hatred for Christianity and parents with traditional values. Apparently, her father could have been a target also. And the manifesto, in one passage, the shooter rails against Christian friends that her parents have encouraged her to make. She writes, "Parents actually believe religion can change nature. That could explain why I don't practice religion anymore. Let kids be themselves." She was 28 years of age, yet in the manifesto considered herself a child who railed against her parents for opposing trans ideology. She mentioned...
How old was she?
28.
Wow.
That she'd kill to have had parents who gave puberty blockers as a child. She admits in a passage, however, she didn't have a problem with going through puberty as a girl. But once she encountered gender ideology in her early 20s, she finally found the answer that changing one's gender is possible. So this is incomplete. The big story here, you know it and I know it. It's not exactly what she says line by line in the end. It's a cover-up. It's amazing. Something this public. Now, I get the argument we often hear, hey, we don't want to release the writings of these people because we don't want to celebrate them. We don't want other people to follow this and think, wow, people are actually going to be reading what I'm saying, etc. I get that. But is that what's going on here? Or is this more because of the trans issue? So yesterday, Leah Thomas lost big time in an attempt, yet maybe Leah Thomas is one, Dan, because even the New York Post was under fire yesterday, coverage of Leah Thomas losing with the Swiss group that controls part of determination of who can compete in women's swimming and other sports. They called Leah Thomas her. To my knowledge, there's no biological change here or anything else, so I wouldn't call Leah Thomas her.
I was calling her yesterday during Dan time, and some people came after me on Twitter too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just I realize it's a slip up at times. You're in the habit of it, and you are rolling with it rather than you're making a decision. But the New York Post is printing this, not extemporaneously.
I would push back, though.
Yeah.
I think using labels like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person that demands you use the correct labels. But when you're trying to make a point to people in the middle and you started off by mislabeling them, it kind of seems like you're coming at it from a very negative, biased standpoint. And I don't think you win. I don't think you win over anyone by.
And I'm in agreement, but how are you mislabeling?
You're not. You're not. Yeah. But in the eyes of those that are kind of iffy on the issue, you are.
Well, I think if you emphasize it and go down Broadway with it, I take your point. I think you can't go wrong though if you're being accurate here about it. Now, if there were various things done and there's a change and all that, you're still insisting on him. That's a little bit different than if we're just going with what we know to be a biological male. That was the point with these women at Penn and with Riley Gaines.
10,000%.
Yeah. So,
and I mean, Riley was talking about the things she had to see in the locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal to see this loss. Now, Riley Gaines, trying to get her back on, is calling for Leah Thomas to have to give up all the records, all the wins, all the things that went into that. I don't think they're going to do that. But we're seeing this play out again this morning. Not the same thing, not transgender, but the sexuality part of it, I think. The head of the WNBA is saying that she doesn't think that Caitlin Clark is experiencing anything too much different from other rookies. She says everyone's just looking for the outcome they want. I think everyone's watching Caitlin, so they're focused only on Caitlin. But when you look across the games with other players, it's a physical game. There's no doubt about it. It's a pure shooter's game. A lot of picks and rolls, a lot of seeing the floor. All right, to my educated eye, lady, then you shouldn't be the head of the WNBA. If you think this is just typical, what we're seeing with Caitlin Clark, I beg to differ. It's more. And here's the thing. The WNBA, it's projected today, is going to lose $50 million again this year. How is that possible when dropped into their lap is the opportunity to just skyrocket here? Because, people that are knowledgeable about basketball, because of Clark, Dan, if done right, they're going to look at it and say, I didn't know they played this well. Several of these women, it is much more physical, aggressive, which is fine, are better than I thought. I didn't know about any of this stuff. They're going to sample it is what I'm saying. She's been drawing 17,000. The 2 games last week, both of them, they drew over 17,000.
Wow.
They usually don't draw more than 5,000. That seems to be the over-under. How can you be losing $50 million? Well, I just think it's a losing mentality. I don't know where the women are that get this, that should be running this. But this is the golden opportunity to get on the map, have people see your product. And I've always thought one of the reasons why it's difficult, you and I can't do what people in the NBA do. It is just magical. The speed, the strength, the jumping, the handling the ball, the size. When I watch women in the WNBA, though, there's a lot of it that I don't think, that's not so remarkable. For women it is. But the NBA, it's like, oh, my God. Can you imagine playing against one of these guys? Just seeing Embiid, it's frightening, seeing it come at you. All right.
Like, how do you drive? Because no one, I hate to say, it's been years now. I mean, Sue Bird was early 2000s, and people thought it was going to pop with her, and it didn't. And it's over and over. You got Candace Parker, right?
Right.
It's like you get these names, but nothing pops. And why isn't society just interested in this sport? Is it just because it's so poorly ran, or?
That's part of it. It's also, as I said, a lot of males, Dan, watching it think, I've seen guys. Yeah. I wouldn't say any guy playing. Well, there's a bet out there. You take a big state like California, Texas, Pennsylvania, and the team that won the state championship for the biggest schools, they could probably beat any of the WNBA teams. I believe that. I think they could.
Yeah.
It's an inferior product. Whereas in soccer, something like that, you don't notice it as much, I guess. That's why it's more popular.
Do you think it's going to explode? Because I do think we're on the precipice of the sport exploding. And the reason I say that is for the first time in history, we have legalized sports gambling. And there are people looking for anything to kind of bet on.
Right.
And now you have more televised sports, being the WNBA, with same-game parlays and such. Mm-hmm. Is this the time that it finally does? And that's why they're willing to take a $50 million loss, because they know on the horizon there's going to be money?
But they've lost the last 7 or 8 years $50 million plus. It's hard to believe you can stay in business doing this. They're ill-run. If this head of this league doesn't think that this is over the top with Caitlin Clark, then I don't know what game she's watching. I mean, you just don't shoulder block someone just standing there. That's just an example of it. All right. It's 855-839-1210. Don't wait to the end. Hit us with that all-time genius, real or you're mocking them. That's what we're looking for. We've been breaking down the Supreme Court ruling today, which is not leading the news after the initial burst. And the reason is the Supreme Court did not go there when it came to extending abortion, curtailing abortion rights or do anything with it. And Trump has played this beautifully, more so than any other candidate that I could see. Nikki Haley had a different position, more pro-choice. But Trump doesn't have to worry that evangelicals or pro-lifers are going to jump ship on him, and he's handling it so that he's not boxed in. I don't think in the debate or anything else that this is going to be a huge issue. All right, let's go to Robert in Bensalem. Robert, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Dom, and it's good to talk to you guys today. Real quick, Dom, I wanted to hit on your valid point that inflation is baked in, and just to give the other folks an idea on how long we're going to have to deal with this. Our GDP is about $30 trillion, and after Joe Biden's monetary expansion, our money supply is over $34 trillion. So until our GDP catches up to our money supply, we will be dealing with inflation. That's about a 14% increase we need, and that'll probably take between 2 to 3 years. We're stuck with these prices until then. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and Robert, I have to admit, I am shocked. You may remember way back when this started with Biden, I thought people may not notice it. When they did notice it, I don't think they would blame them. I thought they would look and say, oh, what the heck's happening here? COVID, et cetera. But guess what? They are connecting the dots on this, and they are seeing his policies as the reason.
Well, if we knew more about what goes on as far as how our money is treated, we would not be so lackadaisical in getting angry about inflation. If we knew, most people don't, and that's an unknock. You know, you have to have an interest in this stuff, but I'm just saying you're right. It's baked in, and we're going to be dealing with this probably until almost 2030. From my side question, with Dr. Frankenstein, I was going to try to jump into the old argument we have about which great scientist is better, but I'm figuring Dr. Frankenstein didn't have any competition in his field, so I'm going to go with him. You guys have yourselves a great day, okay?
Thank you very much. That's true, Dan. There wasn't a lot of competition there. Hey, by the way, why was the monster always in a suit jacket, to quote Jerry Seinfeld? He's done several bits on that. Frankenstein always had that nice sport coat.
Right? Where'd he get it? Because I'd like to, find the tailor.
Yeah, he didn't have the full suit. He just had the sports coat, and he had kind of a shirt like I have on today, all the time.
52 extra long suit jacket.
Yes, exactly. And my mulligan shirt has a stain on it, Dan, so I am in full stain removal today. Rose working that up. Yeah. Well, having trouble. I could use some good stain advice. You can always hit me on social media.
Johnny and Pam would have another shirt for you. You don't need to row to work out there.
But I don't like to do that. So I'm trying to get that stain out.
I got a really cool black shirt last time. Yeah. That's great. You need one of those, then you can't stain it, right?
Right, exactly. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. Mike Rowe at 2 o'clock today. He's got a great film coming up and ready for the 4th of July. Watched it last night. The angles, this guy is he is the one of the best guys I've ever interviewed. And he was on the short list for RFK Jr. Would he ever have considered it to be the VP choice there? Would that move the needle with Mike Rowe? I'm glad he's not getting involved in politics. People will start coming after him, et cetera. Yeah. And who will Trump pick? Oh, my God.
Mike Rowe?
No, not Mike Rowe. Oh. You still seem to think it's Doug Burgum. In the end, I can't imagine it's going to be Doug Burgum. But
hearing some grumbles
he likes him.
Ben Carson, that boring guy coming back. Yeah. That was my initial one that I was behind. But
Ben Carson, is not what you want. And the one who's falling the fastest, and I understand why, is Tim Scott. Tim Scott's not going to move the needle with anybody or anything, really. But does J.D. Vance?
Yeah, J.D. who?
He articulates America first well. Does Rubio really move the needle?
Like, does JD have ties with Hollywood where he can get actors to try, endorse the campaign?
Really good buddies with Don Trump Jr. That's what it is. Oh, yeah.
But, Ron Howard, he directed the film.
True.
And, I think, wasn't Amy Adams in the film? Like some big
Oh,
names.
yeah. Amy Adams. And I'm trying to remember who played the mom, the grandmom.
Yeah, Hillbilly Elegy.
It was...
who was
Cloris
that?
Leachman.
Glenn
Cloris
Close.
Leachman.
Glenn Close.
Was it Glenn Close?
It was Glenn
Not
Close,
Cloris?
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Glenn Close, yeah. Okay, all that aside, jump in right now with Dom and Dan on Talk Radio 1210.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Expect above average temperatures through the rest of the week. We'll see plenty of sunshine today, a bit more humid with a high of around 88. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low 69. And for Friday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Some late day severe storms possible with a high near 90.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Dancing on the moonlight.
All right, Dom Giordano show. So Dan and I, during the break, taking a look at President Biden in Italy, and they had these various countries with their flag try to hit a target, parachuting in. And as they were adjusting, all the world leaders, I think it's the Italian prime minister particularly, were watching these guys as they're getting the parachute off. And Biden just turns away from them, starts taking those steps forward to nowhere. She gently has to turn him back and say, hey, hey, come on over here with Macron and these others. It is stunning. But I'm still in the camp, Dan. I have not changed one whit that they're going to be able to take him out. I still believe in the end, despite all these doubters.
How does he make it to the debates at this point?
Well, you know, whatever they're shooting him up with, whatever they're giving him, State of the Union, he was back to the old Biden, just screaming crazy stuff, but he wasn't doing this foggy look off into the sunset stuff. So, you know, we need to get somebody with expertise in that. Can you mask this? I mean, he's
literally, can you mask it?
Yeah, I know. It's a conspiracy. It's a Biden double they put out there. Enough to get by. I know it's going to be a tight call, but I'm telling you the way the world is. The Bidens are not going to give this up after a lifetime of doing this. And the people in the White House who have real power now, they're not going to give it up. And Kamala Harris is not going to give it up. You're not going to shove her aside. What percentage of the, I think they're with you, though. I think most listeners are with you, Dan. I don't know why. Why would they wish this? Wouldn't you be wishing on my side?
I don't think it's wishing.
That Biden's going to be the nominee?
It's concern, more so. Let's be prepared for all the bases. Let's start organizing for a what if.
I see what you're saying, what if. Okay, well, I agree with the what if stuff, and I'm not sure if the Trump people, so they should be preparing for Michelle Obama. That's something I would do, yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not preparing for any of these others because, A, I don't think it's going to happen, and B, I don't think they can beat Trump. I don't think Gavin Newsom can beat Trump, and he's, you know how messy that would be to tag him in.
Yeah.
I think I have an advantage, Dan. You're normal. I'm not. That's your advantage because when you get that close to the presidency, you'll do anything. It's.
But what's Kamala going to do? Like she has comparatively to the DNC, they can shove her aside and bring in whoever the heck they want.
I don't know.
Like who's going to push back? Who's going to fight back?
I think they'll say it's racism. These polls are racism.
Who's going to say
being
it's racist?
The NAACP, Jim Clyburn.
The Democratic media that does everything they can to defend the Democratic Party is going to say that they're being racist by trying to get a better candidate in there?
I mean, people inside the Democrat Party are going to argue that shoving the first black woman, even though it's also Asian, aside for a guy like Gavin Newsom, that's racism. They're going to argue that. And I think they probably win inside the Democrat Party.
Yeah, I hate to say the name, Hakeem Jeffries, if they ran, or let's say the globalists really got their way and brought in Oprah Winfrey to run for president. I think there are options out there. You say Michelle Obama. There are options out there that the racial argument's not going to hold then in that fact.
All right, and I would argue they're not going to wait to the convention. Every day is precious. We'd be hearing more of it. That's what I'm saying. So if it's somebody like Michelle Obama, we'd be starting to hear it. That's what the difference is. All right, 855-839-1210. Simple thing. Maybe you've never called before. I just want to take your pulse. Are you more with Dan on this? You've heard us for like a week talk about this, or you're more with me. There's no way they're going to leave the White House. 855-839-1210. And if they don't want to leave, yeah, they have stuff they can do.
Well, when you say they, who is they? They don't want to leave.
The Bidens and whoever.
I don't think the Bidens are the ones holding true power. I think that's where we differ.
You know how messy it is?
I think Biden's a puppet.
Okay. Well, and the people that are exerting true power in the White House, I don't think they want to give that up either. And they would have more.
That's the thing. They're not going to want to give it up. And that's why they're going to shove Biden and Kamala aside because they know that the ultimate goal is to win.
No, but I mean...
So when you can put up a different puppet there, instead of Biden or Kamala with a real shot against Trump, you don't think they're going to jump at that opportunity and put in a different puppet?
Because that wouldn't be a puppet. If it were Harris or if it were Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama, you're not going to have that power, Dan. They're going to have it. They're the president.
Oh, I think you 100%. I think
this is a one of a kind.
The Geppetto is partially the Obama family.
Yeah.
So if you put in Michelle, I mean, there you go. You have someone propositioning already for what the DNC wants. But if you have a hyper-progressive realm behind the scenes trying to pull strings, and Biden's no longer that great, hero of the progressive movement, which he's never been in his entire career until he became this puppet, you don't think they're going to find someone else that makes a better puppet that gives them a better shot of retaining that power?
There's nobody out there, my judgment. Nobody out there that's going to win.
Against Trump?
Right. So tell me, are you, Dan, making a persuasive case? This has gone on for a week. Maybe you've never called before. Maybe it's I just place a lot of faith, and it's more difficult than you think just to take out somebody who has struggled to get into that position. All right, but we do always take a pause when it's Scott of Mount Laurel on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Dom, I'm going to have to disagree with you today.
Okay.
I think that they would absolutely knock somebody out if they thought it was better to win. Number one is that they will, first of all, they'll blame Biden for every bad policy. And they'll act like Newsom or whoever they put in is, oh, no, this guy's different. So that wipes away, in some of these moderate voters, all the inflation problems, they'll act like he had nothing. This isn't Democrat policy; it's just Biden policy.
And how do you take her? Wait a minute. How do you take her out for the ultimate-looking privileged white guy in Newsom?
I think that the people that follow that, first of all, beating Trump is number one to them. So if they are convinced, which they will be, because they follow, these are like religious people. Like when the Democrat higher ups and the media preaches, they say, "So saith the flock." I mean, they're in, and they'll just believe that it's best to win, and they believe that they've been programmed to believe that Trump is out to get the minorities, and boy, anything to protect them from them. I mean, they voted for Biden. Biden has a history of saying he doesn't want his kids to grow up in a racial jungle, and they voted for him. What makes you think that they won't vote for some other white guy if they think that that's the way to beat Trump and they believe in the Democrat policy?
I would tell you two masterminds, you and Dan, who I respect here. Why is it? It's so obvious, right, that this is going on. Why didn't they take him out when he was on the throes of announcing like 5 or 6 months ago, or even now? You think they're really going to wait to a convention, waste all those days?
I think that their best strategy is to wait until September and say, hey, Joe's out for health reasons or whatever they want to come up with. So they bring somebody in, and by doing it late, especially with their media coverage, there's no way for Republicans to tell the truth about what Newsom is like. Most people don't know who he is. I mean, we follow it because we're into this stuff. But the average voter that can't decide whether he wants to be, for freedom or for socialism every 4 years, I mean, he doesn't know who Newsom is. Newsom will look good on TV. He'll say the right things that are poll tested, and we won't have time. We couldn't even get people to believe that a laptop was real when we knew it was real.
All right, wait a minute. Does Newsom beat Trump then?
I'm not saying. I don't know if he'll win or not. I mean, I think Trump should win. As long as the counting is fair and all that stuff, no matter almost who they run. I'm just saying that they could convince people. I think they could get some of those. I mean, we're in a situation now where we have these supposed moderates that realize Biden and the Democrats, I've included the two together, but Biden has done a horrible job, but they hate Trump for these irrational reasons that the Democrats hate Trump for. So this would give them an out, a way to vote for somebody else that could win.
Should strategically then we stop mocking, and I couldn't sign off on this, Joe Biden and pointing out the cognitive decline and not say anything, pretend like it's all okay.
Yes.
Oh, we should.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because anyone who I have been saying, I make my little comments on Twitter and stuff. I have said to some people on there, and I've avoided, to basically stay away from that. We want him to stay in the race. I mean, we don't want to give them an excuse to tag somebody in at the last minute that we can't vet or we can't prove to people that. So yes, I would stay away from that entirely. And the other thing I would do is, every time I would talk about, say Biden and the Democrats, their policies on inflation. Biden and the Democrats.
Okay, I got
it's
you.
not just Biden.
One more comment from Dan.
Yeah, no, I just because the question that you posed to Scott was, do you think Gavin Newsom could beat Trump? And I would pose the question, do you think Gavin Newsom has a better shot than Biden at beating Trump?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't see it that way. No,
I kind of think
see it
yes.
that way.
Because I think the number one response you get what are you looking for in political climate to just the average person is a quote, return to normalcy, away from all the radicalism. And if you can, convince people that Gavin Newsom is somehow that return to normalcy, I think it's going to be a pretty easy election for him to win.
He hasn't been vetted presidentially. You'll see what'll happen if he gets vetted presidentially. And that's what the Trump people ought to be doing, to the point of you two. Scott, who's the genius?
But how fast? How fast, if they vetted him, could they get that information into the minds of the people that can't decide whether to vote Democrat or Republican?
That's why the safer thing, they ought to be doing it now, and they ought to be putting it out there now, without a doubt.
Well, I should agree with that. Anybody who's a possibility, they should start blooding them up now.
All right, who's your genius?
I couldn't really think of anybody great, but I'm going to go with Bill Walsh. He really revolutionized offensive football.
Without a doubt. Thank you, Scott. There's a good one, 855-839-1210. I'm looking at Trump in the Senate with Lindsey Graham. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Lindsey Graham looks horrible.
Oh,
It's
I didn't ask for this.
Oh, my goodness. It's just hard to believe. All right, so I'm outvoted here 2-1. Are you in that camp? This is all going to happen. I'm the only one in talk radio that doesn't see it, that it's all magically going to go away. And we ought to shut up. Rich and I and everybody else in talk radio, do not mock Joe Biden anymore. Could we do that and take one for the team to keep him in there? That's impossible. All right, let's talk about Dr. Bentz here before we take more calls. Just over at Dr. Bentz's the other day, had a temporary tooth taken out and permanent put in. And we were kidding about all the stuff I've told you over the years about the infrastructure they have to make your teeth as precisely and as comfortable as possible. And it fit the first time, fit great, no problem, bang, out of there. Well, that's what you want, but in addition to all that technology, with Dr. Bentz, he wants to partner with you to develop a plan, even from the simplest thing all the way through a multifaceted process, explaining it step by step, getting your input, getting your buy-in, and then you go together as a team. So if you have questions about anything dental, if you've been putting off a dental problem, if you're finally ready to get the smile you've been wanting, now's the time to call Dr. Robert Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. You'll see the Bentz difference. Make that appointment today. Visit Bentz, BENTZ, dentalgroup.com, or call him right now at 610-272-6949. 610-272-6949.
Imagine outpatient care where all your needs are met in one location. Jefferson Health's Honickman Center is where you'll discover nationally ranked specialty care and more, like patient ambassadors, imaging and lab services, a pharmacy, calming spaces, and valet parking. Designed by patients for patients. Discover a new level of care, created with you in mind. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people. We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Free speech lives here with Don Stenzel on weekdays 10 till noon. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
With Dom.
That's right. It's that time in the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom. And Dom, big moment, I think, for the younger generation here, especially wrapping up a vote for Donald Trump. And this comes from WWE superstar, and I say that tongue-in-cheek, but a known YouTuber, Logan Paul, Dom. Yep, the owner of Prime, who had bottles behind him while meeting with Trump in this video, met with Trump. Trump exchanged some gifts, and here's how that sounded, Dom.
No way. Thank you, President.
Let's just split it up. Here's
amazing.
This is
is this your mugshot?
Yeah, can you mug
No way, you're a gangster.
This is what we're reduced to.
You're a gangster, he says.
No way.
Should we put it on now? Yeah.
Isn't
it crazy?
That's amazing.
So now Logan Paul's getting a lot of trash on Twitter, social media for endorsing Trump essentially, and bringing a different look towards Trump. A YouTuber, a wrestling superstar coming here, exchanging gifts with Trump and calling him a gangster. Kind of a different look, Dom.
Oh, it's effective. Youth vote. I don't think the polls are off. They could be off slightly, but Trump is 18 to 29-year-olds neck and neck with Biden. That should shock people.
It's great. And a lot of the younger generation, I think what they're seeing is in schools, it's become so indoctrinated with politics that they're like, I want to push back. I want to rebel against it. And I think Trump has become the new youth rebellion to a degree. And it's cool to see. It's cool to see that. Dom, also a Connecticut town has settled for $100,000. And this might be one of the first lawsuits that we're seeing really break because an 8th grader whose father was a police officer suffered emotional damage when a teacher showed a Kendrick Lamar really violent video in class. $100,000 awarded to the family of this 8th grader. It was filed back in 2022 in Vernon, Connecticut. And allegedly the child suffered from PTSD, and the town council approved the settlement last week. But Dom, first, I don't know if it is the first, but it's another in a line of these, school districts, teachers showing what they want, choosing their own curriculum, and kind of screwing up kids.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll have more of that with Reading, Writing, and Reason, Dan, because we have Mike Rowe coming up. And I just saw the theme, and already on the left, they're going crazy today. Trump speaking in Congress saying clearly we are a declining nation. Yes, I think that's the case. Are you allowed to say that if you're a conservative, if you're a proud American? Well, Mike Rowe is next. He has a film coming our way in theaters for July 4th. And nobody is more inspirational to me than Mike Rowe. No better person. No, Gary Sinise. The two go in my mind. We'll break down the film with him and find out, was he really up to be the VP choice for RFK Jr.? Mike Rowe next on Talk Radio 1210.
Are you tired of dealing with those old, inefficient windows in your house? Well, maybe it's time to go Guida. How about that drafty, beat-up-looking entry door you've painted over more times than you can count? Well, go Guida. Need added protection from the elements with a new storm door? Go Guida. And what about that sliding patio door or garage door you've been meaning to replace? Go Guida. Whatever your home improvement needs are, I suggest you go Guida with the great people at Guida Door and Window. To help you get your project started, Guida is offering 20% off all windows and doors while allowing you to start your project with no money down and up to 3 full years to pay it off interest-free. That's right. Receive 20% instant savings with the luxury of paying off your project interest-free for up to 36 months. Restrictions apply, offers for a limited time, so what are you waiting for? It's time you finally go Guida. Call today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
We don't care who you vote for in the upcoming election. You know why? Because this is not a political ad. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group meet with people every day wondering if they should be doing something different with their money because it's an election year. At Retire Ready Financial Group, we want you to know where your money is, how it's performing, and if the market does go down, how does it affect your retirement? We call it a portfolio snapshot, and we do it at no charge. Our goal is for you to have confidence as you enter retirement, confidence to spend, and confidence that you won't run out of money. Let's vote those election worries right out of your retirement. For your complimentary portfolio snapshot, call 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415. Or go to retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Rev up your golf carts. It's that wonderful time of the year again when 1210 WPHT Madness descends upon the Jersey Shore for a huge party on Wildwood's officially declared Dom Giordano Day. Join Dom from noon until 3 as he broadcasts live from Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill, where he'll be with Scott Presler and some other great friends, with live music provided by the great Burning Sky, the ultimate Bad Company experience. That's live from Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill in Wildwood, Dom Giordano Day, June 21st, noon until 3.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
My name's Mike Rowe, and this is Something to Stand For. A film that celebrates a few extraordinary Americans who risked everything to build the nation we call home. Americans who gave us something to fight for, something to be grateful for. And today, all these years later, something to stand for.
I thought
to take a trip to our nation's capital, not too far from where I grew up, to reacquaint myself with the memorials and monuments built to honor the people in this film. In other words, it's a field trip. And I'm glad you're along for the ride. Assuming the old truck makes it.
All right, welcome in one of our all-time favorites in talk radio. Mike Rowe is in the On Deck Circle. That's a trailer from his upcoming film out on June 27th, Something to Stand For, just in time for July 4th, and in the theaters, not through any other, well, I'm not sure if it's other platforms. It's meant for in the theater, though. And we want to see people here in the Philadelphia area come out and see it. I had the privilege of watching it last night.
Great film.
Let's go to the aforementioned Mike Rowe. Mike, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thank you. Thanks for this film. And I'll jump ahead to say at the end of this, you ask people, hey, did you like it? Do you want another? I like it.
Well, good. You know what? Based on your recommendation alone, I'm going to go into production for the sequel this afternoon.
Well, I
would
say you could take maybe a half a day off and then go into the sequel, because I could tell it was a labor of love, but you just don't turn out a film like this overnight. So, Mike, we gave away a little bit of the angles you're pursuing here. Why the need to do this at this point, to put all that into it with all the myriad of other things that you're involved in?
In 1998, every Gallup survey that was conducted indicated that 70% of Americans describe themselves as either intensely or extremely patriotic. Today, that number is 38%, and with Americans under 35 years of age, that number is closer to 18%. So something's happened over the last 25 years or so, and not being an expert, I don't know what to tell you precisely, but patriotism is on the ropes, probably because it's been conflated in so many ways with politics. And the reason I thought it would be good to do a movie like this, aside from the fact that I've never done it before and it sounded like fun, was that I still think, in spite of all the divisiveness, I still think there's some things that people on both sides of the aisle can agree are worth standing for. And I wanted to write 9 individual stories about those things, and I wanted to stitch them together with a field trip on steroids to Washington, D.C., where we see some of the monuments and memorials and statues that unfortunately have been under assault these last couple of weeks, and put it out there just to see what happens.
Well, without giving anything away, I would say the opening, you can't do any better the way you and the producers, Mike, take a situation that seems like it's ripped from today and transpose it back to when it originally happened. And you have a president, and you also have a Secretary of State in the office who became a president. And I think, too, you do a good job of talking about Presley O'Bannon and the Marines. In other words, highlighting some of these people that we have lost over the period of time.
It's funny, isn't it, the way the headlines always feel so new, and the times we're living in always feel so consequential to us and unprecedented to us. Of course, that's not the case. You know, there's no such thing as a new idea, and there's really not much new under the sun in the way of history. It's so easy, though, to forget that. And part of what I wanted to do in the film is to identify a couple of things in our past that feels so present today. And just, you know, without hitting it too obviously on the head, make the point that we've been here before. We've been there. We've done that. You know, the war on terror didn't begin on 9/11. And even though I wasn't there to see the Emancipation signed or the Declaration written, we have enough proof to put together a really interesting tale that you haven't heard before about how both those things came to pass.
That is the other part, too. And then, Mike, I've been on radio stations, and over your career, I don't know if you've ever interacted. I didn't meet Paul Harvey, but even in the time of Rush Limbaugh, I remember there were points where at noon you would carry some of Paul Harvey. Some stations carried the whole 15 minutes, which wasn't just the rest of the story. It was a sense of an American voice that people loved and were unified by in Paul Harvey.
I'll tell you, I miss him. You know, my podcast is an homage to Paul. Mine is called The Rest of the Story. His, of course, is called, mine's called The Way I Heard It. His was called The Rest of the Story. And, you know, for me, it was a transistor radio up by the woodpile where my dad and I would split wood every weekend, and we'd listen to those tales, and they were so captivating. You know, history with mystery. And it was impossible not to listen until you got to the end. And so I miss that, you know. And to your point, I miss Charles Kuralt and Studs Terkel and George Plimpton. And I'll never be able to fill their shoes, but to follow in their footsteps, you know, that's a privilege. And hopefully what the movie does, you know, it's a history movie for people who don't typically watch history movies, but it's also a look back at a kind of storytelling that is both familiar, I hope, but also kind of distant. And so combining the two struck me as an interesting thing to do.
And, Mike, you make the point this is made for theaters. You'll be able to see it in a theater. That's the thing where we have that experience we've gotten away from, the old, you know, being an audience in a theater. That's part of the draw. That's part of the thing that you remember. You feel the emotion rather than just seeing it yourself on some other platform.
Maybe it's a stretch, you know, but when you think about all of the different ways we used to come together as a people, whether it was in church or whether it was the JCs or the Rotary or the Lions Club or the Boy Scouts or the Future Farmers of America or Skills USA, those civic-minded institutions, they're important. I think the country still needs them. And to the extent that we are divided today, you know, I wonder sometimes if it's because we don't come together the way that we used to. You know, especially, honestly, man, I think there's still some PTSD after the lockdowns, and you know, getting people together, shoulder to shoulder, to experience a thing. You know, I'm old enough to remember must-see TV on Thursday night, where on Friday morning everybody had something to talk about. Those shared experiences, they're few and far between now. You know, we've got 1,000 streamers to choose from and 1 billion choices on each streamer. So, yeah, I miss the ritual of the theater and a lot of other rituals too. And I think connecting people in that way is not too dissimilar than trying to keep us connected through our shared past.
Is there a website people can go see the trailer, more information? I'm sure it's going to be here in the Philadelphia area, Mike, but I haven't seen where yet.
It's coming. It's going to be in over 1,000 theaters all over the country.
Wow.
You can hold tickets now, and honestly, if you're into this kind of thing, I recommend you do, because we're only going to be out there through the 4th of July. But it's something to stand for .movie. You can see the trailers, some behind-the-scenes stuff, get tickets, whatever you'd like. But it's a great film for the family, and hopefully after watching it, well, you tell me, you know, does it beg questions? Does it make you want to know more?
Yeah, and I don't see how anybody could see this, Mike, although the opening scene, who knows?
Dom, was Rogan angry at you while watching it? Because Mike specifically says at the start of the film, don't be that guy in the theater that stands up and yells out the name of who it is when he finally realized it. No, I was like, Jefferson, Triple E, yeah.
Well, you just yelled it out. Stop it already.
It's
Don't yell it out.
It's such a fun movie to watch with others. It really is.
Here with Mike Rowe. Mike, yeah, that opening scene, too, the pitting back and forth of the Secretary of State and the Attorney General, who I didn't know. You do come down on the side. Historically, it's correct. But there's no trashing of the Attorney General. as much as when you're in the big chair there, you have to make a decision, and the decision was the right decision.
Yeah. Look, it's a whole lot easier today to judge than it is to think. And, you know, part of the fun of looking back is that you do get permission to judge, because it's not until the years go by and we get a little bit smarter and we get a little context that we might have a chance to learn. We're just living in a time where, you know, everything is so fast, everything is so immediate, and everybody has such a deeply held opinion that, well, we're awful judgy here of late, Dom. And, you know, and I think the movie makes that point as well. And we're having a hard time, too, trying to figure out not just how to judge the people who are in office, but look at what's happening to our statues. Look at what's happening to our monuments and memorials. I talk to rangers in the film, park rangers, who start every day getting up and cleaning up the graffiti and cleaning up the vandalism. That's a heck of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, though, while you're here, though, something you have to feel good about, and America should, and I witnessed this from the time I've started in talk radio till now, transformation of people looking at the skilled trades, removal now, and this is a good thing. Here in Pennsylvania, for example, the governor removing all these jobs where the hurdle was you had to have a college degree even to be considered, even though it had nothing to do with it. How is that battle going? And you are in the forefront of this, way ahead of anybody else.
We're winning. I mean, I'm not going to take a victory lap, but there's a lot of room there's a lot of reason to think that the ship is turning around. There's a headline in yesterday's Wall Street Journal that talks about Generation Z, of all generations, being the tool belt generation. They're using social media to capture their life in the trades, and they're becoming influencers now in the same crazy way that the Kardashians managed to do it in fashion. But people are now doing it in plumbing and electric and drywall and heating and air conditioning. And that's part of what I've been saying really needs to happen now for the last 20 years. We need to make work cool again, and we need to show people who are prospering as a direct result of mastering a skill that's in demand. So, look, you can say what you want about Gen Z, but enough of them are stepping up. Enough of them have done the math and realized that going deep, deep, deep into debt for a 4-year degree that doesn't guarantee them a job in their chosen field is not always the best path, especially when you got 10 million open positions that companies are dying to fill with people who are simply willing to learn a skill.
Yeah, it's not coming quick enough, I'm sure, to you and everyone else. And, Mike, I was the first in my family to go to college. You may have been or not, I'm not sure. But the idea that we let it infect the system where we look down upon people in these areas, you've led the charge without attacking anybody, but just lifting up the notion of how much this is part of our fabric and how it should be celebrated.
The trap, Dom, in my opinion, is to paint with too broad a brush. That's what we've done. You know, in our attempt to make a more persuasive case for higher education over the last 40 years, we weren't content to simply make the case on its merits. We had to also say that if you don't get a 4-year degree, you're screwed. You're going to wind up turning a wrench. You're going to wind up working on with some vocational consolation prize, and that's where we went off the rails. We started talking to people as if everyone was the same, as though our brains didn't work differently, as if our workforce wasn't equally reliant on the skilled trades as we are for white-collar positions. So, the thing we have to resist is that, and honestly, it does kind of rhyme with history. When our workforce becomes out of balance, we get lost. We become disconnected from some really relevant things. And when we lose our connection to who we are as a people, when we become disconnected from the past and we don't know how to feel about the men and women who built this country, then we lose some of our collective identity. And the consequences of both of those things are serious. So, it's a privilege to have a seat at the table, and whether it's a foundation or a movie or a TV show or a book or whatever, there's not much else we can do but push the boulder up the hill with a smile and then do it again tomorrow.
And it's working, Mike. Can hardly wait to have our listeners out in theaters. And again, they should get their tickets now. Where's the website? Where do they go for the trailer and everything else?
somethingtostandfor.com. Something to stand for.movie. That's the place to get the tickets. You can watch a trailer. There's some great behind-the-scenes stuff. 27th of this month through the 4th of July.
Mike, thank you. Thanks so much. I hope to see you sometime in Philadelphia, sometime in this area.
You know what? I miss it, man. I used to live in Rittenhouse Square once upon a time.
Whoa.
From what I understand, it's still there.
It is still there. Well, anytime, Mike, we'll host you. Just let us know.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate it.
All right, the great Mike Rowe here on Talk Radio 1210. Dan, nobody better. That book that I've never printed, he was one of the first ones that agreed to an interview. The teacher that affected him, he was somehow or another, he had this teacher for class, and the guy said, we got this play. You get extra credit or something. And he told him to play the role without a stutter because he was a stutterer. It's hard to believe. His voice is magical.
It really is.
It really is, yeah. So
such a great storyteller.
Yeah, and we are winning on that front, that you can go into these other fields. And that's, there's evidence on the other side, though. We have people still saddled with incredible amounts of college debt that really don't seem to have a skill or a piece of paper that leads to something that makes them happy and prosperous. So there's still that tension. It's an ongoing battle. All right, 855-839-1210. Right now, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Money gone.
All right, we'll get that. And coming up, we're going to tell you, Merrill Reese, something major and good has happened. And we have Merrill Reese standing in the other room, so we'll have that too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He's here.
He's right back there,
Yeah, he's right back there.
Yeah.
But what's the backstory today?
Yeah, Dom, today we're playing for a digital movie download for Shadowland, starring John Voight. Haunted by nightmares of an assassination, a former president uncovers a conspiracy to discredit his legitimacy. And Dom, today we're talking about true geniuses, whether that's genuine or sarcastic. And Dom, today's genuine. As much as I dislike the guy's politics, I have always thought that he is quite the musician. And here he is covering a Beach Boys song. And I bring it up because I didn't realize this until today, but he actually, at the age of 16, enrolled at UPenn and then later graduated magna cum laude from UPenn with a bachelor's degree in English, and also was president and musical director, I think at like 17, of the co-ed jazz and pop a cappella group over at UPenn. So impressive resume there, but his politics, Dom, not very impressive. But Dom, we want to know who today's cover artist is. Take a listen.
I may not always love you, but as long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you.
Quite the voice.
Yeah, it is, but I reject it for this song. This guy's probably done a cover of My Way, Dan, and oh my God. You know what, for Dante?
It's a good question. I wonder if he has.
If you could put together the 5 worst versions of My Way, we could have some fun with that. And I'll tell you which one is the worst. All right, so we're looking for who's covering this song.
The male singer that we heard there covering this song.
Yeah, the male singer, yes. 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is just push pound 1210.
Join Team Kale & Company once again this year for the Bend to Shore Bike Tour on Sunday, July 21st. From Philly to Atlantic City, you can do the ride or just donate to support the cause. Visit bendtoshore.org. That's shore.org. Let's show everyone how WPHT and Odyssey supports law enforcement. Bend to Shore is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. SBBCF provides financial relief for the families of fallen and injured first responders and supports the Police Youth Alliance, which fosters a positive relationship between police and youth. Sponsored by Gelman Law. Need a criminal defense attorney or personal injury? Visit GelmanLawFirm.com.
I'm a dad, as you know, and I know what my dad wants for Father's Day, so I'm the expert when it comes to this. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Here's how you make Dad very, very happy this Father's Day. Omaha Steaks. Packages starting at just $89 when you go to omahasteaks.com and use my promo code ZEOLI at checkout. ZEOLI. Father's Day's almost here. You got to get cracking on this, all right? You can pick from premium proteins like juicy pork chops, air-chilled chicken, beefy burgers, and obviously the best steaks out there. Endless flavor, endless variety, and endless value. omahasteaks.com. Promo code ZEOLI at checkout. That's how you get the packages starting at $89. And you don't want to wait on this. And trust me, Dad does not want anything else but this amazing food. Because he can have the family around the grill. We love to grill. Makes us feel like a guy, manly, you know what I mean? So do it today. Just go to omahasteaks.com. Packages starting at $89 when you go to omahasteaks.com and use my promo code ZEOLI at checkout. omahasteaks.com.
Your small business deserves a strong financial leader. More than an accounting firm, you need a professional who will focus on growth and profitability. With Styles CFO Services, now you can afford an experienced CFO at the fraction of the cost of a full-time CFO. Styles CFO Services offers surprisingly affordable hourly rates, no retainers, contracts, or minimums, and a complimentary 21-point financial assessment. Visit stylescfo.com. That's STILESCFO.com. Accelerate the growth of your bottom line today with Styles CFO Services.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows, along with no interest for 5 years. Plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com.
Hey, this is Mike Quick. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point of sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success. PDQ POS is the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS system available. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team will create a custom game plan that will help your business succeed. Visit PDQPOS.com.
Our lives aren't like they used to be. They're busier. Early morning Zooms, grabbing coffee to make that in-office meeting, getting to your kid's soccer game on time. Life is different, and so is advertising. To reach any audience, you need your message out there in all media, broadcast to streaming, on screens, and right to the ears of your customers. And that's what we do at Odyssey. Let's build a media campaign that targets the customers you know and want to reach more of, right here in our community. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT. It's Dom Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. Every day at around 2:13, 2:14. It seems it's usually a cover song and or the foreign language has not made its way into the fray most recently.
Yeah,
Dan,
we got to do another foreign one, don't we? Yeah, let's do it tomorrow.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we'll have it tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow. Let's hear the clue and tell us who's covering this famous song.
I may not always love you, but as long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you.
So slow.
That's the line you have to hit. That God only knows. That's it. Come on.
Yeah.
You have to coach these guys up. They're world famous. Come on. Let's go to Zach in Bryn Mawr. Hey, Zach, good afternoon. Who's covering that song?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. As always, a great show. That's going to be John Legend.
Yes, regrettably it is. I don't know how he's a legend with that cover. I'll put you.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan either.
I'm not. And the wife is just dazzling. I'll put you on hold, Zach, and we'll get your prize off you. Nicely done.
Yeah, no one compares to the original on that one, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, John Legend, age of 16, got into UPenn, had scholarship offers, I think, to Harvard and some other schools as well.
Oh, boy.
Quite a legitimate genius, but when it comes to politics, I don't think so. But yes, John Legend, congratulations, sir. You win the prize.
And marriage choices, I might add, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're looking for today. Today, John Nash's birthday. Genius, right? So either a real genius or one that you're mocking. Yeah, he's a real genius, okay?
How about Now Do You Get It? The ice cream cone inventor at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904, after an ice cream vendor ran out of paper cups, a Syrian concessionaire named Ernest Hamwi offered a solution by curling a waffle cookie into a receptacle for the ice cream.
That is a genius.
Quite a genius.
Okay.
How about the founders of the Electoral College, Dom?
Oh, yes.
Or
whoa, wait a minute. Today, what? No, why didn't I celebrate that this week? Isn't it June 10, 11? Isn't it June 12th that in 1802 they finally formalized it into the current Electoral College form that we have? I think it wasn't on the day in history. That's shocking. I think it's June 12th.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look that up. I'm messed up on that. Yeah.
It would just be called Electoral College Day, wouldn't it? Well,
it wasn't a day. They took out some of the difficulties with it, where a president and vice president were running against each other, that kind of stuff. All right, one quick thing. President Trump today, creating a stir in Washington, met with both the the House and the Senate separately. Criticism already starting because of this phrase. Trump said, "America, we are a declining nation." Now, we just had on Mike Rowe talking about the greatness of America, the underpinnings. So the other side has rejected that. Mike kept on talking about the monuments. Yeah. Who are the people that attack the monuments? Be it Columbus, they don't want them there. Be it Rizzo. I'll tell you more about that. The committee is moving forward about where the Rizzo statue will be. About the defacing of the monuments on a daily basis, or the Palestinian mob attacking it outside the White House. Oh, June 15th. Okay, June 15th. So I have to mark that down. Yeah. I don't know why but it's the 12th Amendment. That's what it was. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Yeah. That's a genius idea, the Electoral College, without a doubt.
How about Bill's the inventor of the Etzel?
That is a good one.
Quite the genius.
That's how we always have said. Now, when I looked at geniuses, though, Dan, we still say to people, well, he's no Einstein. I don't think we don't say he's no Bill Gates.
He's no Elon.
We don't say he's no Elon Musk. I'm surprised someone didn't call him with that. He is a genius. I think he's on the spectrum a lot, though, but he's arguably a genius, without a doubt.
Can I do one more from Fisher Pine?
Yes.
2007, Miss South Carolina.
That would have won. About the American people. And, oh, my God. She did kill a minute somehow or another.
She did.
But Trump speaking, I believe, in the Senate, we are a declining nation. You're not allowed to say that. The other side pounces on that and says you're running down America. If we say we are a nation in decline, or a declining nation at that point, we're marrying it to the idea, though, the core, make America great again. Do the things that we know are in our DNA to make America great again. The left, the Biden people in his campaign, is saying, no, you guys wrap yourself in the flag, yet you're denigrating the country. We played you Josh Shapiro this week, saying he's sick of Trump whining about how bad things are in America. Well, buddy, let's get middle-class America, not the stooges you put in there, Josh Shapiro, and let's ask them how they feel when they go to the grocery. Let's talk about Americans having to make decisions. This is where I get crazy. I couldn't debate this guy. It would be ferocious. about, well, we can't eat out anymore because of what's happened here. That's not America, Josh Shapiro. I don't know what America you live in, but that's not America. Let's debate on this. It wouldn't be like Doug Mastriano. 855-839-1210. So how are we in decline? Well, we're in decline when you look at the weakness around the world that's exhibited. We saw it at the G7. You think people like Putin and these others and the Chinese are looking at Biden today at the G7, the annex again, that are clear this guy doesn't even know where he is, and they're going to have respect that we will do whatever we have to do to prevent their incursions, Taiwan or wherever it might be. You really think that? No. Do you think we're prospering when Americans are not feeling? It's a strange prosperity when Americans are diminished whenever they shop, whenever they take a look at their personal finances by and large. They're diminished, and quite a bit. And they don't see any way out of this. Robert of Ben Salem made a great point today about how would we truly get out of this inflation cycle? How much of it is baked in? How many years is it going to take to do that? A lot. It's not just a declining rate. It's what we've already experienced. And we know the reason why. And I don't care what anyone says, it's obvious. Biden was going to spend big to be big. That's what was in his mind, to be a significant president. He did not have to spend all this money, all this largesse. And we know what it produces. It drives out private money. We know when government money is printed, spent in this way, we know what the result is. We're living it. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Coming up, Merrill Reese is in the back room. I must have wandered over from WIP. We'll find out what he thinks about being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That just came down. That's the biggest honor you can have in that field. You know.
I can only imagine what he's going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's brought to you by PNC. I don't know if Mike Quick will have a role in this. We'll have that coming up.
Do we have Mike Quick?
Yeah. I'm not sure. That music. Now that's, I still can't believe how bad John Legend was with that song. My God.
It's really not a good one. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, too much interpretation on his part that's not effective.
You got to admit the guy's got a good voice, though.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could carry a concert. No, yeah, I
just want to underline something. Like, the reason why I bring that up is someone like Bruce Springsteen, my hate is not political towards Bruce Springsteen. I just think he sucks. Someone like John Legend, I can respect his music, even though I still highly dislike his politics.
I don't think Springsteen has a voice. He's got two things, though. Fraudulent, it's true, over the course of his career, the storytelling and the connection to a particular thing going on. And he's turned out to be fraudulent on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not right in the very beginning, but over the course of time. And the other is the energy, and he gives his fans that. I know you discount that. I don't.
Yeah.
I like that in a performer, whoever the performer is, be it James Brown or anybody
He does
else.
give it his all.
Yeah.
His all's
exactly.
not great, though.
There you go. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in right now here. Can you say we're a nation in decline? Of course you should be able to say that. They're pouncing on that, though. Hey, June is Men's Health Month. With Rescue Natural Supplements, life is busy. It can be hard to focus on our health. Thankfully, Rescue Men's Health Supplements have the vitamins, minerals, nutrients. They provide men with what they need. Rescue Supplements can help boost testosterone, promote a healthy prostate, as well as support energy and vitality for an active life. And for the month of June, when you buy one of their Men's Health single bottles, you'll receive a second totally free. Just use the code STRENGTH for the buy one, get one offer. To order, just call a Rescue Product Consultant at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, or shop online by visiting res-q.com, res-q.com. Discover the amazing benefits of Rescue Natural Male, Prime RX, Super Prostate, and more. Again, use the code STRENGTH for the buy one, get one free offer on Rescue Men's Health products. Shop res-q.com. Do it today.
Expect above average temperatures through the rest of the week. We'll see plenty of sunshine today, a bit more humid with a high of around 88. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low 69. And for Friday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Some late day severe storms possible with a high near 90.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, and a member FDIC.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmer's market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia on June 25th for a free virtual floral arrangement session with Longwood Gardens. Learn more at aarp.org/local.
Introducing the Honickman Center at Jefferson Health. Outpatient care designed by patients like you. Together, we're shaping the future of medicine, where advanced technology and comprehensive services ensure convenience and accessibility for all patients. Everything you need to simplify the complexity of care is available in one location. Uncompromising care, delivered by world-class physicians. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Supreme Court unanimously preserves access to mifepristone, the drug used in nearly 2/3 of U.S. abortions last year. Jailed for more than a year, U.S. journalist Evan Gershkovich will stand trial in Russia on espionage charges. Denmark recalls spicy South Korean noodles over health concerns after a viral dare challenge.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Yes, that's right. Merrill Reese, the voice of the Eagles for 46 years, going on 47, is going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Highest honor. Well, it's besmirched by one person in there. Joe Buck is in there, Dan, based on this.
Oh, get him
at
out.
least when I read.
Get
Jim Nance, that's fine, but Joe Buck.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, that guy. Ugh. But anyhow, Merrill must have been down the hall getting congratulations at WIP. I see him coming into your studio there, Dan. He seems to be a little bit.
Hey, Merrill, how you doing?
Hey, Merrill, what's going on?
Well, Dom, let me just say it's an exciting day here to be in Philadelphia, inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. It's an honor to be there, and it's been brought to you by PNC. But you know how I'm going to be celebrating this, Dom?
How?
I'll tell you exactly how, because we're about T-minus 1 week away from Dom Giordano Day. Maybe I'll come down to Mulligan's Shore Bar and have a drink with you.
That would be excellent from one Hall of Famer. I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I'm only in the Italian American over in East Passyunk and the broadcasters Local Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Fame, though.
Let me explain this to you right now. If the Eagles can win a Super Bowl in 2018 and PHT could be 95% local and not syndicated, anything is possible. The next thing we have to do, Dom, we have to get Tom Jones out there to one of the Dom Giordano days. Let's see what we can do. I think Tom Jones coming out there would be good. Even better right now, yes, let's bring Jimmy Matthews, bring Chris Matthews out there as well. It will be an unbelievable summer right up to the start of Eagles football on 94 WIP. But the big preseason is going to be Dom Giordano days down at Mulligan's.
Thank you very much, Merrill. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dominic. Get the name right, by the way. D-O-M.
Get the name right.
Brought to you by Mulligan Shore Bar. Okay.
Oh, man.
Let's go to the Joe of Exton here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe. Good afternoon.
Yes. Hello, Dom, and good Thursday afternoon. My personal genius is George Soros. Soros flees Hungary during the Second World War and comes to America. He comes to America penniless and then becomes known as someone who amasses a great amount of wealth. Dom, I have a side question for you.
Side question
for one of George Soros, Joe. I wasn't expecting
side
that
question for me, Joe. Go ahead.
How does the country of Hungary produce people of high intellectual capacity? Eugene Ormandy of the Philadelphia Orchestra was Hungarian.
I'm Hungarian.
I think it's the goulash. No, they're very elevated, university type of society, Joe.
With Joe on the phone, can I insert one more answer? I'm going to submit Joe of Exton as a genuine genius, Joe.
Absolutely.
Because your IQ's got to be above at least like 140, right?
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
So you had been telling the audience that you were Polish background.
Half Polish, half Hungarian, yes.
Yeah. And then one day you mentioned Hungarian.
Hmm?
But when you said Hungarian, my esteem for you went up tenfold.
See, true genius there.
Thank
at least
you,
140
Joe.
IQ.
All right, Dan, you're the Hungarian. You should be able to get Joe to come to Dom Giordano. That is going to be the prize of the Jimmy Matthews. I want to look around our round table there. You know, the head table at Mulligan's, right under the TV, et cetera. See Joe of Exton, the Earl of Tacony, of course, Robin, our Wales guy, and Jimmy Matthews. Now, that's an all-star lineup.
When I saw George Soros up on the board, I did not expect it to be on the genuine column there.
Yeah, exactly.
Some compliments for Hungarians.
Exactly.
You never know it, Joe, right?
Exactly. Leslie Bryn Mawr certainly is a knight of the round table or a lady of the round table. Let's go to Leslie. Hey, Leslie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Aloha.
Aloha.
So I'm really stumped by this backlash on Trump that we're a country in decline. It's the Democrats have been pushing what a failing nation we are.
Exactly.
And we treat people terribly, and, they're the ones that have pushed the narrative that we're a bad country.
Yes.
So Trump is saying, yeah, I agree with you. You guys are pulling it down. We are a nation in decline. So,
right, and Trump is not saying that as a foundational principle. To your point, he's talking about metrics of our style of life for our people, our stance in the world as far as being taken advantage by other countries. But Leslie, this is the best thing they've had, and the media helps them by going along with this.
But they're talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Right, but Leslie, I pay attention to. I would tell listeners, pay attention to this guy because he's cagey. As much as I'd love to debate him. When Josh Shapiro plays that card we played this week, that's what's on their minds. He's better than a lot of them, and that's where he went. How dare you stop whining and running down the country?
Well, I can't hear Josh Shapiro. Do you know? I just turn him off. He's beyond. I just can't handle him. I'm not interested in anything he has to say. And I also find it interesting, if he's such a front runner for the Dems, he's off in the back room a lot. You know, he doesn't get the airtime that Newsom does and some of these other folks. So how is it that he thinks well, I know he thinks he is the future president, but I don't see other Dems really supporting him.
Give him a little bit of time. Don't underestimate him. I'll tell you that he's the guy that I'm watching. Leslie, who's the genius?
Well, you guys said it already. Miss South Carolina.
Okay, yes. That's a very good one. Thanks, Leslie. Don't underestimate Josh Shapiro, okay? More than Newsom, more than any of that. We'll see. And this whole idea, Newsom, you're just going to tag him in, I don't know that he's been vetted enough. All I can say is, Dan, in person, he is stunning. I say that one guy to another. I mean, he just looks at the whole thing. Is that too much? Is that an advantage? Or does it seem too California, too plastic? We'll see. He's not tagging in, though. Joe Biden is going to find his way there no matter what, even though he can't find his way around Italy right now. All right, it is the lightning round next. All you have to do is get in at 855-839-1210.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Not yet. Do it today. Okay. At 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, that's right. Hit us with that all-time genius, either tongue-in-cheek or you actually think they are a genius. Let's go to Gary in Holmesburg. All right, Gary, who do you have?
Hey, Dom, Joy Behar. She's the most stupidest person I ever see. That's what's wrong with the world. She makes all that money for being stupid. the interview with Bill Maher, where Bill Maher said that he's incognitive, they need to do something, and she said, "No, he's all right. He's doing a good job." What? What, lady?
I like the animation. Good one. Good call. Drew in Upper Darby, one of the masters of the side question. Hey, Drew, what do you have today?
Hey, Dom, thank you so much. You know, Dom, I don't know if this answer is sarcastic or serious. I can't figure him out. I'm going to go with Yogi Berra. Hey.
Yeah, that is
I don't even know I say it myself. I really don't. The best one, I think, too, is that when you come to the fork of the road, take it. And we have. I go at Edgemont Road in Montclair. If you go to the fork, you go on Highland Avenue where I live. Either one take you on Highland Avenue. That's how I got that.
Hey,
he's got his own
Dom,
museum.
Okay
Yeah.
Is it okay if I give you my favorite yogiism?
Sure.
He says nobody goes to that restaurant anymore because it's always too crowded.
Yes,
Thanks, Dom.
Absolutely. That is the top 10. I don't know what's been voted the best of all time, but yeah. It's the accent, too, Dan. What he just did there with the fork in the road sounds not good, you know. So, Bill and Bucks, Talk Radio 1210. All right, Bill, who's yours?
Mine is really not a genius. It's Governor Hair Gel.
Hey, watch it. Guy's got good hair. All right.
Gavin Newsom.
Thank you. Dan, is great hair like that guy an advantage, or is it a negative that people are going to mock it?
Seems like, if anything, Tony wants to know. He's still coming after you, this guy on YouTube.com/1210. The hair's too perfect, Dom.
All right, Tony, come to Mulligan's, okay? Have a few beers there on Dom Day, and you can feel the hair. No, that's what I told Ro, Dan. She's got to muss up the hair, feel the hair, do the whole thing. Feel free to jump into that, too. It's not required, but so people can see it's real. What else can we do? All I know is I will be wearing a Mulligan shirt one way or the other that will not have a stain on it. I've been assured by Johnny or Ro getting it out. One way or another, we're going to go with that. All right, Bruce in the Northeast, Talk Radio 1210. Who's yours, Bruce?
Hey, Dom, you got 12 Coca-Cola executives that are at a board meeting, and one genius stands up and says, I got a great idea. We'll replace our 100-year-old recipe with something called New Coke, and it can't miss.
That is the all-timer, and the Earl of Tacony. Earl, got about 30 seconds here. What do you have?
When you do a movie, whether you act, write, or direct, the studio owns everything, and you have to negotiate what you get paid. So George Lucas did his standard negotiation for Star Wars, and at the end of the negotiation, he said, by the way, can I have the merchandising rights? And they said, well, what the hell do you want them for? They're completely worthless. Sure, moron, you're going to have the merchandising rights. How much money are you going to make off of selling toys and T-shirts from a movie?
Gotcha. All right, right down to the wire. Dan, who are some of the potentials?
I think I'm going to go with Yogi Berra today, Dom, and I'm going to argue it. This is why. From Drew in Upper Darby, only one quoted by presidents. You got to be a genius if you're quoted by multiple presidents, Dom.
Italian-American, Yogi Berra. It ain't over till it's over.
It isn't over till it's over. We may be lost, but we're making good time.
Yogi Berra once said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
The future ain't what it used to be.
And the kids will say that.
All right.
You want to go with Yogi, or the other one is Miss South Carolina?
That's a tough call. I'll go with Yogi, though.
All right, Drew in Upper Darby.
Drew in Upper Darby's in the hat again. All right, Rich Ciola is ready to take you for 4 big hours. We're back tomorrow with our guy, Scott Presler, among others, here on Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi everyone, Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Lexus of Cherry Hill, a 6-time J.D. Power dealer of excellence for customer service. Why would you buy your Lexus from anyone else? The 2024 Lexus models are here and moving fast, and the newly redesigned 2024 Lexus GX has arrived. Tony Labello and his team are your source for the Lexus of your dreams. Over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. You deserve a Lexus and award-winning customer service. Start your journey with family-owned and operated Lexus of Cherry Hill.
For J.D. Power dealer of excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Smokey the Bear. After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.